All right, so you guys are tuning in to the first Sucio Talk panel, right? I got Chef Charlie Apple here. I got Chef Nico Peña and Chef Andres Florez in the house. What up, chefs?
How's it going?
What's up, man?
What's that?
Chilling. What are we drinking on right here, Andres?
It's Cantillon. It's an old brewery from Belgium. They just make basically like all 100% like natural beer. They just use like the best fruit they can find, and they just do like natural fermentation on that.
Wow. Damn.
It's nothing but raspberries. It's like 0-0, just literally raspberries.
Just raspberries.
100%.
Damn.
That's crazy.
You guys serving this right now at Snail Bar?
Damn.
Yeah, we have cherries, apricot, and raspberries.
Oh, dope.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we love their shit, but it's so rare to find that. We just buy it off like a gray market guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to like not mark it up like crazy. Everything we do, like we don't really mark things up in like a stupid, like ridiculous way.
Right.
We keep like a 1.6% markup on everything and stick by that.
Okay. I got you. So we're talking about Snail Bar in Oakland. And then Chef Nico, what's up with Octavia?
Octavia is going really well. We're actually going to be our reopening anniversary is June 29th. So it'll be a full year since we reopened since the closure of the pandemic. So it's been an exciting year for sure. Nice.
Word up, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And then Charlie, what's up? How you doing?
What's up, man? I'm doing good. I'm recently relocated to Redwood City. I'm a private chef now, so I'm in the private sector.
Nice.
All right.
It's been interesting, and it's been great. I'm doing a lot of things. I've got a really cool garden that I'm tending and growing a lot of really interesting things that I've been wanting to grow on a very small scale, which makes it very manageable. And then cooking as well, kind of just doing random stuff.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, I got a 3-camera setup and I just fucked up. You were talking for like a minute and a half and I only caught the last 15 seconds of that. I'm so sorry. You also do not have to wear the headphones if it bothers you.
No,
because there's a little bit of lag. I get it. But anyways, we're here clandestine podcasting in the fucking studio. So chefs, first question I got. What is your worst kitchen accident? That could be cuts, breakups. I mean, anything. Let's go. Charlie.
We're going to talk about the time that you deep fried my hand.
Oh,
he's throwing me under the bus right now. All right, that did happen.
Yeah, I want to hear the story.
I want to hear the story.
You know what? It's a good story though, but mainly the aftermath is a good story. The happening was not a very good story.
No.
Yeah, it was just a hot pan of oil, and
yeah. I heated it up and put it on the top shelf like a fucking idiot. Like, I'll remember that that's there. Charlie goes like this.
Go grab a clean saute pan and yanked it really hard. Shit, you can still see it. It's my whole. You know what? The thing that saved me a little bit was I had a asparagus rubber band on my hand.
So like blocked it up.
And it like stopped it from going up further, which is kind of funny. But it was it was. I definitely had to wear a rubber glove on my hand for 2 months. And that being said, for anybody who burns their hand like that, like really bad, if you cut the fingertips off of your gloves and put it on your hand, the heat of cooking will like shrink the glove around your hand.
Hell yeah.
And you'll be able to do stuff with the tips of your fingers if your hands
from experience.
Right. This is the third time that I've tried my hand. So
you had it down.
Not that big of a deal to me, but you know.
Yo.
So that's mine. What we got?
Fucking Andres, let's go, baby.
Oh fuck. I had just dropped out of culinary school and I was working at this like Southern French restaurant, and the chef was like comfying a bunch of wild boar belly, and it was in the oven. It was like a deep hotel pan full of like fat and like bellies. And I pulled it out, and then I don't know, I was like 17, and I just like I was like, oh, and then like the corner of it like dripped all over my wrist, and I all that fat was just like completely scorched my wrist off.
Yeah.
And I showed it to my chef, and I was like, yo, I think I got myself pretty good. And he's like, man, that ain't nothing. And then he's like, go back to garde manger. And I was like, okay, cool. And I started working, and it just started blowing up.
Yeah.
Like my whole fucking wrist was just like really, really just like a huge bubble of fucking water. I showed it to him, and he's like, oh, fuck, dude. Ew. And I was like, oh, man. And then, yeah, I was out.
Yeah.
I fucking sucked balls.
Yeah, that does suck.
Did you go to the hospital?
It was a 30-degree burn. And I went to the hospital, and they were just like, yo, you can't move your wrist for like a month. Yeah. It was just like, because it's like so close to your nerves that everything just kind of like, you can't move it at all.
Yeah.
You literally just have to do it in a position, or everything's kind of like cracking. If that, yeah, it's so gross.
That's okay.
It's so gross.
That's gnarly.
Yeah.
I once went to sign a lease, and my blister popped when I went to go shake the guy's hand.
Ew, dude. That's
like,
so gross.
You're like, no, you know it's real.
You're like, yo, I just
I was like,
my
we're bonded
hands.
for life, brother. You know what I mean? It was funny. It was funny. Fucking Nico, what you got, man?
Mine, really embarrassing. So when I first started at Quince, everything was new to me. And like I'd never come across a rationale.
Right.
So I didn't know about the combi situation. So I remember like, the timer was going off, and I like ripped it open, and it shoots open, like all this steam and hot air comes and hits me in my face. And I just like literally burnt my entire face, like mainly my like lips and everything. And I was like, oh man, I just didn't want to tell anybody because I was just so embarrassed.
Yeah.
And then like all night, like the way the kitchen was set up, we had pasta 2, which was like in the corner, and like that was my station. We had a freezer, so I like stick my face in there all night, just trying to like cool it down. And I had like my station partner. He's like, just put butter on it, and I just put like butter all over my face. It was awful. It was the worst. It was more embarrassing than anything because I was like, I don't want to tell anybody that this happened.
Oh man,
What's up with you, guy? What you got?
It's not that exciting, but I cut my finger down to the bone on my pointer finger, and I still have the scar.
Yeah.
It happened like 15 years ago.
ooh,
So
That's
I'm like, I was waiting for it to go away, but it didn't go away.
ugh.
Someone put a knife in the dish sink. And I
Oh.
went down to
Ooh.
get it, and then I was like, picked it up, and like knife underwater, it's like
Yeah.
it goes quick, and then it's
Yeah.
like goes slow, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, pulling it up, and then it was like, ah. Then the dishwasher was like, go clean yourself up and come back. I was like, I got you. It was at the track.
Oh, man.
You were working the grill,
Shit, man.
and I was on dish. I had just started first restaurant job, 6 months in. I was like,
You met
I
him
ain't
like at
leaving.
your first restaurant job? When he
No,
was
so
a girl and you were a dishwasher?
me and Charlie used to trade weed.
Trade weed.
Yeah.
in the
So like he already had his shit. I sold my shit. So the way it worked was he would just come over and be like, I got a new batch. And I'd be like, yo, I got a new batch. And then we would trade like
You were
top
both
colas,
growing.
like 14 gram. I was not growing. He was growing.
Oh,
whoa,
shit.
whoa, 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 whoa.
I'm
Completely
sorry.
legal. Completely legal.
His parents are
Talking
gonna be
about
like,
broccoli.
what the fuck, Charlie?
Oh yeah, they probably figured it out by now.
Oh, good, yeah. Aren't your old grow lights at their house?
No, but when that's actually a funny story. When I moved out here, I split a storage unit with my dad, and he put all of his Christmas stuff in there, and I put all of my like essentially grow equipment in there in boxes, and where we had our storage unit was not the nicest of places, and somebody was welding in there and set off the fire alarm, and it ruined all my shit. But my dad just calls me up and he's like, the fucking fire alarm went off. Like, I'm looking through all your boxes. It's all this weird grow equipment. Like, what is this shit? And I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
It's all a loss.
we found it here and there, but I don't know.
That's how it be, man.
That's how it is. Needless to say, I toted that around for a while and then threw out most of it, wound up, because what are you going to do with 15-year-old electrical equipment? You know, there's a lot.
Put it in the garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
Recycle it. Try 'em.
Yeah.
Always recycle.
Yeah, I don't want to be putting up on Craigslist, getting rid of a bunch of grow equipment. That's a
Yeah.
good way to get yourself robbed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Fucking one of the scariest moments in my life was when we were hanging out. We can't tell these
I don't know
stories.
if we're allowed to tell this story.
We're not. All right, look,
Different podcast for that.
Mom,
Yes.
get at me. Let me know if it's okay to ask these questions. Like, what are you gonna do? Anyways,
Yeah.
fucking, and this, but I know we went over a script before it started. We don't fucking stick to the script. You say whatever you want when you want to say it. You know, it's I'm just gonna put that out there.
All right.
Word.
All right,
Good
This
with
is
that,
fucking-
Lemon.
We're just chilling right now, drinking on some delicious shit. I also got some Rogue Dead guys.
Rogue Dead
yeah.
guys.
I've been drinking this beer for quite a while now. I think since high school.
Whoa.
My boy, not
good
high
taste
school.
in high
Not
school. I was
school.
gonna
Yeah,
say,
I'm
got
like,
the
that's
fuck-
not what I was drinking
no,
in high
no.
school.
Drink Natty
Craft
Light.
Yeah,
craft
Yeah.
beer didn't exist in high school.
fucking high life. Too.
That hadn't happened yet. It was like
Huh?
Sam Adams, you know. This was
What the high
college.
life and Four Loco life in high school.
Oh my gosh, Four
Yeah.
Locos. So you know, like those stories that like it's like I should be dead right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Got
I
a
made
Four
it out of
Loko
that.
story like that?
Yeah. So me and
Let
my-
us know. Let us know.
Me and my family friend, like I have this like weird family dynamic. One of my buddies, we basically grew up together. Him and I were working. He was working at Olive Garden. I was working at the Capitol Grill, which was like Dynex restaurant group. And we would always be like, "Oh, Dynex, like Dynex money," you know. And he got this new Charger, this new Dodge Charger.
Damn.
And he was like,
Big
check out the
flex.
Dynex money, like what I got with it. I was like, cool. And we're at a party, we're drinking Four Locos, and goes, let's go ride in it.
Ooh.
And it was like in our hometown, right? So we're like driving down the main street, and then I think he tried to make a really sharp turn, and we like barely missed the like street light. We just like skidded out and everything, and then we're like, oh shit, we got to go back home. And we drive, and he's like, I got to get gas. All right, we stop, and then his car is smoking. I'm like, what the fuck? And we look, and his brakes are just bright red because he had the e-brake on the whole time.
Oh,
I was like, oh my God, dude, if
shit.
you didn't have that on, yeah, nice headline. I was like,
bro.
oh shit. Yeah, that's the only time I had Four Locos.
Whoa.
What did that taste like? Is it like a
It's
Red
like
Bull?
There's
yeah.
like 4 flavors. There's like
Yeah.
blueberry and shit. Like, I don't know. It's just, it used to be like a combination of like taurine and alcohol.
Yeah.
But then they like, the FDA like canceled the taurine and then they just made it like, you know, it's like, I don't know, 30% or some shit. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's like a Red Bull. It's like a Red Bull shot with some whiskey,
Yeah.
basically.
Damn.
It's like
There-
if
had
you
you never
like
have
sat
them?
down and took like 4 shots of whiskey and like 2 Red Bulls,
Yeah.
it was like the equivalent of like a full Four Loco to the face.
Have you never had a Four Loco?
Just fucks you up, dude.
No.
You're
No, Yeah,
out.
they're
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I like had a bunch in like 10th grade. Not a good idea.
shit.
I got
Because
a,
you just black out. You're just like so
Yeah.
so gone.
You know, for a long time, you know that kid in high school that's always injured? Like, at the end,
Like, why you broken?
at the end of the fucking year, he's not injured anymore. Right? One of his shoes is fucking filthy, and the other one is fucking. So I was like, "Yo, that's never gonna be me, son. I'm gonna have the same shoes." Like, I ain't even good. So, that's
I
why.
don't know where this stemmed from at all, but that's so fucking funny.
That's how I think. You know, weird shit goes on.
Shout out to that kid who was hurt all the time. I hope
Yeah,
you're not
Hopefully
hurt
you're
right now.
recovered.
I was that kid in elementary school. Every summer I come back with a cast on.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
shit.
definitely that
breaking
kid.
his arm.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was fucking Charlie the whole time.
No, not in high school. I figured it out
Yeah.
by then. Stop doing dumb shit. as much. So maybe I just stopped. I kept doing dumb shit. I just stopped hurting myself.
Stop breaking the arms.
Still do
Yeah.
so much dumb shit. I was like the other day. We're opening up Slug Bar in downtown,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, fuck it. Like at this point, I like know a lot of handyman shit just by watching my handyman build the other spot, and I was like, fuck it, I just do it myself. And I was up on this like chairs. So all these lights are like, it's like a magnum of wine that covers a bulb of light. And I hated it. I was like, it would look better if we just displayed the Edison light bulb and then just have a string. So I had to go around the whole restaurant and with a hammer break the magnum to release the bulb.
Right.
Does that make
Shit.
sense?
Yeah.
So I just went around, and then like after like the fifth one, I was like, damn, like I have a bunch of like small cuts on my forehead. All these like shards, just like I was wearing glasses and closing my eyes. And it's just like,
Just getting it done.
yeah.
So Slug Bar, what's up, man? Was that always in the works?
I mean, like yes and no. It was like, I mean, we opened up and we didn't know what the demand was gonna be, and like you could be so confident with your cooking, but they're like at the end of the day, people might try it and they're like not into it. So it was like we opened up and then we got really busy, and we have this weird thing that everybody's like, oh, I love Snail Bar. Like there's such a wait though, and like maybe we don't get as many like as many diners because people think like we're so packed, and we are, which is funny. So like we have to find a solution for it, and then it's like, what do we do? And then we just like open up another spot where we could put people, that's like less than 10 minutes away, and we could have like a simultaneous relationship, like it's yeah, it was like there's nowhere in Oakland to like drink good wines and listen to good music and be out like later than 10 or 11.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be the first to like have a place that does it. We're gonna be open from 5 to like 12 or 1 a.m. and then like so get food at 10, maybe 11. We're working on that. Yeah, I mean it's like you leave service and your only options are like dive bars, like take a whiskey shot and PBR or whatever you get fucked up. But I don't know. I like good wines. I like drinking shit that I'm like stoked about. So like opening up a place that has a great chef behind the stove cooking food that's for late night, and then like a great selection of wine that you could just choose a glass or like a great bottle at 11:30 after service. Like I don't know. That was what we wanted to provide.
Yeah.
Nice.
Word up, man.
Yeah, and then we happen to have like a cabaret license, so we can host like live music DJs. So like now I'm like working on like setting up a sound system there.
Yeah.
And, like literally, I'm just like every day I'm just reading a bunch of shit about mixers and like turntables and speakers and like I don't know, like the shape of the building is like a triangle.
Yeah.
And there's like,
Are you
it's just
gonna
like-
do DJ sets?
oh, 100%.
Oh, that's legit.
So we're teaming up with Lower.
There's a
Grand-
spot in France like that.
Oh, no.
I went to go eat at restaurant AT,
Uh-huh.
and Tanaka was like, "Yo, we're going to hang out at this bar." And we go there, and he's like,
Tokyo bar.
I forget the name of it, but he's like, gets there, and people are like, "Oh my god, it's Chef!" It was crazy. I was like, "Yeah, that's crazy." So we go in there, and he's like, he's a celebrity. He's like, goes away for 45 minutes. I'm like, just fucking chilling in there. And then I get the story, and it's like the guy didn't like any of the music out in the city,
Mm-hmm.
so he was just like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna open up a wine bar just so I could DJ."
That's
Huh.
So now you're
I
doing
mean,
the same.
yeah. I mean, so we're teaming up with like Alex from Lower Grand Radio. Shout out to Lower Grand Radio.
Dope.
He has a radio. He hosts like a radio show here in Oakland, and he hosts like a lot of different DJs all the time, different musicians of all sorts. And I love his shit. And like, basically, me and him are working on like creating a program around the bar where we have like 2 DJs a week in rotation for different themes, whether it's like I don't know if anywhere it could be anything from like reggaeton to like London rap to like Jamaican soul music, reggae, dub, like all kind. We love all kinds of shit, and like there's a lot of interesting people in Oakland playing a lot of cool shit. So we are building something now that's like gonna give them also a place to play.
You're gonna build a movement.
Yeah, I mean it's a historical location. It's just like we
Yeah.
have to do something there that's just like new and original and just like community driven.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
Cool,
legit,
man.
man.
Yeah,
Fuck
so
yeah.
that's kinda what
Congratulations.
That's what I'm working on right now. Yeah, we're hoping to open like maybe like second week of July.
Oh, nice.
So like in a month and a half.
Yeah.
Are you looking to feature some dishes from Snail Bar or completely different?
Only the ham and cheese sandwich.
Okay.
Gotta have the ham and cheese.
Gotta have the ham and cheese sandwich. I mean, it's like at 11 p.m. after drinking a bunch. Like, I mean, it's like the perfect food.
Yeah.
It's
Damn
comfort.
right it is.
Yeah.
Fucking like cultured butter, like bistro ham, French bistro ham, Comté Gruyere, like Dijonnaise. Like it's all can't go wrong.
Dijonnaise.
Yeah.
My favorite condiment.
Yeah. Like slather Dijonnaise and then sprinkle a little salt.
That's all you need, baby. Very cool.
Chef's kiss.
So fucking, you guys been going to the farmers market lately?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Yeah, I've been going. Like I go every Thursday and Saturday. But what's great is like I've been training my sous chefs to go too.
Right.
Just to make a more sustainable lifestyle for everybody. But yeah, I mean, the farmers markets are like, it's not only the farmers markets, it's also the farms that I work with that like order or deliver directly to me.
Right.
That really like drive the menu. So like, one of the biggest things I take pride in for sure is like getting a walk-in. Like today, the walk-in super full. It was a Thursday Marin Market pickup. We got Tucker Taylor who dropped off. Last night we had Middleton drop off. We got 4 lambs in. The walk-in's full, but then by tomorrow night it's like completely empty, ready for Saturday's haul. So I mean, like, yeah, for sure. I mean, the market right now. I mean, at least from my like the way I've gotten kind of used to ordering and how like people's growing seasons like Saturdays during the winter are like heavy for me because like I'll go to Lee at TR Vegetables and just get like thousands of dollars worth of shit because it's like she's got black salsify, all the root vegetables that I want, like all those things I take from her. And it's hard because like some farmers that I order directly from, like Miriam at Medium Farm up in Hillsburg, she doesn't grow those things, so it all ebbs and flows. Right now, the market's kind of like 50-50 with who we get directly from too. So,
Right.
but like with the operating hours and everything, but.
What is something you're getting right now that's like your favorite thing this time of the year to get?
Oof. Right now, like in the walk-in, I would say my favorite thing is like porcinis.
Yeah.
Like definitely, like I talked to Joe from Black Diamond. He's like, "Yo, I got 80 pounds of porcini." I was like, "Great, send me 40."
Sick.
Because like my favorite thing is to like conserve them and just continue them on, and I would say that's my favorite thing. Unfortunately, like with the recent hailstorms and like heat waves and cold snaps, like 10 Brink is really far behind. But typically, like their stone fruits are coming in. That would have been my favorite, but
Yeah.
right now porcini is my favorite thing in the walk-in.
Nice.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh yeah.
yeah, love porcini.
Nice.
Did the spring get fucked up at all up here with chill? It was like a week or so where it was like,
I mean,
yeah.
like spring this year was short. Like all the spring produce now is like
on its way out.
Yeah, on its way out. Everything's now going into summer.
Yeah.
Squash is super good right now. Yeah, you starting to see corn at the market. Like, yeah, spring's like done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely. That hail definitely fucked up the cherry season.
Yeah,
There was a lot of like my favorite people were like nothing. It was either the hail and then the late frost.
yeah,
Yeah, it got 'em.
like the ones from Frog Hollow this year.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're fucking good.
I get Zuckerman's black market cherries.
Nice.
Zuckerman?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Nice.
Zuckerman. Because like, I guess I shouldn't put him on blast, but yeah. Their cherries are really good.
Damn.
Nice. That's a good
Everybody
thing.
in the Bay
I
Area.
had
No, but
no
their
idea.
cherries are sick.
I had
Yeah,
no
yeah.
idea.
Yo, he's probably telling people he don't got them.
Yeah.
I got them cherries, bro.
Yeah. I love
And Nico coming and buying them all.
yeah.
Damn, I had no idea I had cherries.
Yeah, I love Archaeo Farms. I met them.
Where are they at?
I think they're out of Winters.
Oh, okay.
They're close to. They're like North Sacramento, like Central Valley area. And I met this woman, Annette, and she's one of the owners at the St. Helena Farmers Market, and normally she's got like a lot of black cherries, like Black Pearl, like Black Burgundy, or Black Pearl are good, and they're black cherries, like they're dark. And the Black Pearl, they're super crunchy, so you can like pickle them, like cook with them, and they'll be really good. But I'm excited for. You guys heard of Andy's Orchard?
No.
It's down. It's probably an hour 15 south of here. But it's this guy Andy Mariani. I met this guy who turned me on to him. Who they worked at the Rare Fruit Growers people. But I guess the guy goes by Andy Mariani, the fruit detective, where he gets like all these different varieties of fruit, weird varieties of like off non-commercial things, and grows them. And he should have sour cherries this week.
Oh, cool.
Word up.
And that's like a hard place to like Bay Area. I have a hard time finding sour cherries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And-
don't find any.
Apparently they've got I haven't seen him, but he's got like sour cherry, sweet cherry hybrids, 2 of them. I've never had them, but I'm stoked. I'm gonna go down there this week and try and get some. Hopefully they're there, you know. But I know they go down to like SoCal and like LA and Santa Monica Farmers Market and shit. So
Damn. You were going down there back at Meadowwood?
no, I found out about this farm recently. Maybe like actually about a year and a half ago. And I went down and I picked up sour cherries from them, and I forget the other type. I think Lapin from them last year, and they were really nice. But when we were with Meadowwood, there was this one, Ovid up the winery up on Pritchard Hill. They used to really wonderful winery, really incredible wine. They used to have all these great sour cherry trees, and I'd just go up and pick them, and it'd be like,
I remember those fucking sour cherries.
dude, I'd be rolling
Shit, I
in.
might have a jar here.
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean,
Nice.
I bought all his shit. It's like,
yeah, man. I got a bottle of a Belvedere, like the big bottle of Belvedere, and I filled it with the sour cherries, and I actually strained out the cherries, and I had like a bottle of
Like
maraschino.
alcohol preserved?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Cool.
And
legit.
I got a big
Hot.
bottle, so we're gonna have to drink that sometime.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Word up.
What got you into private chefing? Like, how did you end up with the family you're in right now?
Well, I was doing private events after. It was like I had some weird, like after Meadowwood, I like went to do this farm situation, and then that didn't work out. So then I went to do another farm situation, like straight up by myself, and that didn't work out because I was out there in a fucking 13-acre field, like working it.
Oh
But the thing is, like when
Love
you're
it.
when you're by yourself, it's like you can tractor farm that, but like, and you can but you have to have the tractor. Like,
Yeah.
I was calling people and being like, trying to get like a tractor to come like disc the whole thing, or lay compost over like half of it or something like that. And 13 acres was too small of a plot for them to do. They were like, for me to put a tractor on a truck and take it there, it's going to be $1,000. The guy on the tractor is going to be $1,000, and it's $1,000 for me. So it's like $3,000 just to disc your field. And he's like, and that's not even a full day's work. So I was having that conversation. Was like, I'll give you $1,000 just to come do it, and then I'll figure out the next step and stuff. And doing the whole thing, it was working out in the long run, but it was just something that I hadn't been, I just wasn't willing. I was looking at myself 5 years from now, and I was like, do I really want to be farming? Or because if I do this, I'm going to be here 5 years from now. I'm going to be here 10 years from now. Or I'm going to do every step of the way now as if I were to be here. You know what I mean? And it just seemed like an investment I wasn't really fully wanting to do. When I thought about it, I was like, I still really like to cook. I want to do something with that field. I want to do something where I can do both of those things. So I had to kind of take a step back from that. So I did. And then I started, doing more preserving, started doing private dinners and private events. And that just, I was like, man, this is, doing something, going to a new place. And then 2 days later, going to a different place. And then 2 days later, going to a different place. I was like, shit, I just need to find like a place where I do this every day. Yeah. So, kind of set after it. And Dave actually facilitated a person who kind of put me in a good position. And I'm in a good situation. I got good hours. I'm doing things that interest me. It's nice. I'm like still doing cool preserves and shit, but like I don't have to do at Meadowood for Meadowood and Charter Oak. It'd be like I would get 300 pounds. That's what would be the number. Nuts. It was 300 pounds. Like peaches, apricots, green almonds, everything like that. Like that goes in jars. And then it'd be like, yeah, dude. And like,
and you were processing it yourself too, right?
So
for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, there were days when it
smells like fucking vomit, dude.
What do you say?
What?
Ginkgo nuts.
Yeah.
Ginkgo
Smell like
Dude,
baby
think about
The chocolate they made though was fire, bro.
Dude.
You made chocolate out of ginkgo nut?
And fresh ginkgo nuts, like from the tree. Like I've never had since eating that. Since then, I've had ginkgo nuts that you buy from like, you go to like Berkeley Bowl, you can get ginkgo nuts. You can get ginkgo nuts from, you go to like Chinatown. I'm sure you can get ginkgo nuts. I've seen that, but like, they're not as good. Like they have that stink on them that you're talking about. Yeah. But what's worse is getting out of service, fucking midnight, and then having to go to the ginkgo nut tree and pick the ginkgo nuts. Oh. And then like, you know what I mean? And like they're on the ground. So you're on your knees and then you're just getting your knees are in them and shit. But yeah, it smells like vomit, but dude, they're so good. Like you get them out, you have to wash them a million times and all that shit. But like the texture of them is so cool. It's like gummy almost when they're fresh, but fuck, man. Ginkgo nuts. I remember
passing the ginkgo here.
Dude,
this is like, fuck that.
No, dude.
Like,
Is there an ingredient that any chef has ever made you use that sucked? That you were like, yo, I fucking hate making this. This dish is horrible.
Fucking red bell peppers. Dude.
Yeah?
Red bell peppers.
Really?
I hate red bell peppers.
Why?
I just don't think they taste like anything. There's so many better peppers.
Yeah. Do you
like every
green bell pepper?
Like every pepper is better than the green or red bell pepper.
Yellow?
Green, red,
no bell peppers
orange.
for you.
This is like this GMO ass, watery ass fucking pepper. Like,
that's what I think about fiddlehead ferns.
Oh, worse. They're so stupid.
They don't taste like anything. They taste like green.
They're dumb and they're dumb to clean.
They're shit to clean.
Honestly, the only way I've ever liked them, it was like at a fucking yakitori stand where dude just like tare, grill that shit, little salt, and I was like, ooh.
That's because it tastes like tare.
You can fucking put tare in anything and it's gonna
Tare.
be so good.
Yeah. Shit. What about you?
An ingredient? Oh God. I don't know. I can't think of like one ingredient I didn't like.
You can't tell me that every dish you ever made you love.
No. For sure, I didn't. Yeah, there's definitely dishes I was like, fuck. But I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, for me, I think like a lot of it is less of like the ingredient and more of like what's great about being at Octavia is that like I get everything from the farmers that I want to get from, and like it's not like, oh, hey, you're out of salt too, so like you need to order it from Cooks. Like it doesn't matter that it didn't come from this certain farm, you got to get it. You know what I mean? And I think like as an ingredient, I'll say like for me, I hate foie gras. Like definitely not my
Okay.
I think it's like the worst. I hate the texture.
the
like
chef.
no, seriously, like
fucking love
the only thing I
I'm
like
not
about
with you on
it
this
is
one.
like,
The worst.
I just want to go on record saying I love foie gras.
Yeah.
My name's Andres.
No, for me, it's okay. It's not the worst, but like, I just think like
Compared.
yeah.
You're gonna
might
call
say it's the
D'Artagnan
best.
5 years from now.
Yeah.
Like I saw your fucking interview on Sucio.
Yeah.
Fuck
No.
you.
You're gonna get a little backlash from this.
They're not local enough, so I won't get from them. But no, I just like for me, I just never really liked the texture. The flavor to me has never been something that's like, oh my god, like that good.
So
And-
you're telling me, like, I remember as a cook them being like, "Oh, there's foie gras on this menu," and being like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I get to eat foie gras."
Yeah.
The
Oh,
first
yeah.
time that you ate foie gras, you were like, "What the fuck?"
So the first time I ate foie gras,
Was it hot or cold?
it was hot. It was seared, and I remember like I was dude, and it was nice too. Like if I think about it, it's like it was like perfect crust, but like I was just a stage at Charlie Palmer in Orange County, and I was like, "What's foie gras?" And the chef's like, "Oh, here, I'll get you a piece," and like seared off a piece, gave me a piece of that piece, and I ate it, and I almost like threw it up. The texture was disgusting. I was like,
The first time I ate foie gras, I threw up.
yeah, it's like,
That is because I was 17 and I was working in the prep kitchen in my restaurant. And I was like rolling lumpia or pulling lumpia apart or something. And it was one of those things, service was going on and the sous chef was just like, "Charlie, food." And they would do that thing, occasionally you just get like a plate of something and you're like, holy shit. First nice restaurant I ever been at. This was like a half a lobe of foie gras. So that shit must have been like going or something. But
oh no.
like it was that with like, it was in like a duck confit peanut sauce because it was like an Asian restaurant. And dude, I ate this whole thing.
Oh,
I fucking, I finish up my shift and I'm walking to the metro because it was like 2 walks to metro station. And I was like, just started smoking cigarettes and thought it was cool. I chain smoked 2 cigarettes and I went down and I got on the metro. And that shit when you start going pale
yeah.
and like your lips get all tingly and shit. And you're just like, oh, I shouldn't have fucking done that. And like, I remember jumping up, the train's going, it stops. I think it stopped in Chinatown. And literally, I was at the door and I threw up right at the door. And it was like a Friday night. And the door, it's like bing bong, and the doors open up. And everyone's just standing on the other end, just like, oh,
We're going to go to the other car.
And I'm just like, I look up and I'm like, I'm so sorry. And then the doors just closed out.
Run, dude.
So like one of my other jobs in Orange County, I was at this place, Anki. And the chef there was like super into French techniques with it. And he was also doing like, at that time, it was like crazy molecular gastronomy stuff. And on Grand Marché, we had this foie gras nigiri that like I just hated so much. And one time we were like running super low. So he had a torchon. Typically we like set it in a half sheet pan, cut out little squares, put on the nigiri. We were running out and I was like, "Hey, we're almost out." And he's like, "Oh," he gets the torchon, cuts it, right? Makes it all nice, and there's a whole bunch of trim, and we're just like in the shit. and I scraped it all into the trash can because I was like, I gotta go and I gotta clean up my station. And he was like, another valuable lesson. But he came with a cryovac bag, and he's like, "Where's the foie gras?" And I was like, "Oh, I just threw it away." And then what was cool was that like he was like, he just looked at me like, "What the fuck?" And just like went away and just kept doing his thing. He's like, "You know why I didn't like yell at you?" He's like, "It was because like I can tell that you felt like an asshole." I was like, "Oh, that's cool," but it still sucked, and I hate foie gras.
Fuck.
Nico Peña on record.
Sorry,
So if you ever
sorry.
see, we better not ever see foie gras on your menu.
You
chef.
will
I
never
better
see.
not
You will never see it.
walk into Octavia and see some foie gras. I'm fucking coming for you, dog.
That shit's hella good, bro. I'm tripping.
You'll
I'm
never
loving
see
it, but
I love foie gras.
it is terrible what they do to the ducks. But
I think it's more of
It's-
a like, you, like I don't know, like did you grow up eating like innards at all?
Like I grew up with my grandparents, like eating like the hearts and kidneys of chickens. I always grew up eating tripe. Like I was like the only one of my brothers that loved menudo and like I never really had a problem with like the innards of things. growing up, but except what?
Except for foie gras.
Except for that, yeah.
What a
I can't get past the texture.
You like livers?
I like chicken liver mousse,
But not foie gras.
but not foie gras.
Do you like foie mousse?
No.
It's
It's just like
I tried.
honestly, it's,
You said it's a texture thing.
it's texture, and then it's like the smell of the fat. Like I don't know, I just can't. Like everyone's like, oh, it's so good. I can't get behind it. I'm sorry.
I mean, honestly,
Okay.
I didn't know.
I'm not way about eggplants.
Eggplant?
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I don't like. People are like, oh, what about like baba ganoush? I'm like, bro, it's like creme fraiche and
Baba
spices.
ganoush sucks.
Like, what is the flavor of like eggplant? Like, I'm just like, it's whatever you do to it. Like, I don't like you could fucking teriyaki glaze a eggplant and like it's good. You could tempura an eggplant, it's good. Like, but I don't really get much out of it. Like, I could have fucking tempura anything else.
Right.
You know, like it's whatever techniques people do to eggplant. Like, except for like Indian cuisine, I feel like the way that they do eggplants is just like mind blowingly good. But besides that, like I'm just like, I don't know.
What are some Indian dishes with eggplant that you've had? That
I mean, just like it's like kind of like salted kind of chutneys and shit.
Mm.
Like I feel like eggplant chutneys will usually come out really good because the textures being like a spongy thing that you can make. But besides that, like I just like I don't get excited by it. People are like, yeah, like what about eggplant parmesan? I'm like, what about chicken parmesan?
That's true.
I'm like, where's our bar here?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I just we talk about like I don't know. I feel like there's ingredients that like really shine in like certain preparations, cherry jubilee and like like glazed carrots, whatever. Like eggplant, like, I don't know. I haven't been sold on it.
How
So
about
do
you,
you-
Charlie?
Like, where do you
Anything? Yeah.
have
Well, I
you ever
said
made a dish
fiddleheads.
that eggplant
Well, yeah,
shines
but yeah, like
without the addition of like an ingredient in my basket?
Huh. I don't know. Let me see. What are some other things?
Eggplant.
I don't know. There was, dude, Joe at Meadowood used to do a cool thing where he'd like cook it. He'd take it, cut it up, dry it, sort of like let it oxidize, and then
Oh, that's the
Uh,
best.
cook it in like vinegar, but like a lot of vinegar, and then take like blanch it in it, like not blanch it, but like simmer in it quickly, like probably 3 or 4 minutes in a simmering vinegar. Take it out and then store it in olive oil, and it was pretty good. And I think kind of like they would do with porcinis and things like that.
yeah,
It
yeah.
sounds really good, but that's like so specific.
And it
How many
tastes
fucking Joes are there? You know, like,
Yeah.
like most of the time you just eat eggplant, like I don't know, sauteed with like parsley or some shit.
No, I feel
Yeah.
you. I mean,
Like I'm just like I don't know. I'd rather fucking. I wish it was any other vegetable.
yeah, and it's like there's eggplant, like the plant of an eggplant, like you plant like 5-10 eggplants, and it's just so fucking much eggplant.
Yeah.
You're like, I was doing this. I was designing this garden, and I was like, we're gonna put 3 eggplant plants in the ground, and one of them is gonna be like really lately planted because it's like, what are you gonna do with 20 pounds of eggplant?
You see what I mean?
Yeah,
though?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, you char it, you like pass it, you make it into a puree, whatever. And then you're just like trying to emulsify this thing. You're like, maybe a little more oil, maybe a little more garlic, maybe a little more of this. Like,
Yeah.
because like it doesn't fucking taste like much.
You're right. You're doing all this shit
It's
when
like
it could
water
just-
puree.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like,
Do you
fucking
think that you could leather bridge it?
That'd be good.
leather
Pretty
bridge?
good.
I think that would be good.
Like dry it and like maybe lightly
Try the
smoke
whole
it.
fucking thing. Just
Yeah.
But still, you're doing, like you said, you're doing all this shit to try and make.
You're
a
just trying to make
mediocre
something better.
product.
It's just not that good
Yeah.
to begin with. I don't know. I remember like first time ever going to like a farmer's market and I was like, you know what? I'll stop being such a bitch about the fucking eggplant and like just buy a
Yeah.
case of shit and like try to make it into a dish. And this was like month 5 of us opening. I saw like the most beautiful eggplants from like Oyo Organics, and I was like, fuck it, let's make an eggplant dish. And I'm doing like all these things. I'm like really trying to make this like sauce, just like to just be the best sauce ever to cover this stupid eggplant. And now I'm just like, I'm all I did was make a sauce. I'm like, this isn't even a dish. Like, I'm like eating it, and I'm so upset at myself. I was like, Manny, my sous chef. I was like, yo, staff meal if we can't. Like, I don't stand by it. I'm just trying to cover up this eggplant. Like, this goes against everything we believe in this restaurant. Or you're like, yeah, we're just trying to highlight products, and I'm like, just like, caviar creme fraiche sauce. Like,
Yeah.
fuck this eggplant.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I stand with those two ingredients. I
Do you
don't.
think
I don't think I have any more.
there's
Those
no
two.
other ingredients like eggplant? There's
No,
gotta be.
that I dislike. I mean, maybe okra.
Okra?
Yeah,
Really?
right. Yeah, that's right. Okra.
Okra.
I'm
got
gonna
a whole
stand.
book
I'm gonna
on
stand
okra.
behind okra. I fucking love okra.
I love okra.
Dude.
I'm not. You know, I'm not anyone here to deny your
How-
wants of okra.
Yeah.
Of
How have
okra.
you had okra?
All kinds of fucking ways, man. Yakitori, tempura, chutney. Chutney, very good.
Yeah.
Same thing with the eggplant. You know, I don't know.
I think
Like,
you just chutney it. You like.
is it? Do you like natto?
Sort of.
Have you made it before, Charlie?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah.
But I.
It's pretty easy.
It is.
Yeah.
But I just
But you're
kind
like,
of.
why am I gonna make all this natto?
Exactly.
If no one's gonna fucking eat it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things. It's like you can make it, but then are you gonna eat it?
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's
Yeah,
fun to
your
make shit
neighbors
like
are like,
that.
yo, you guys want a quart of natto? They're like, nah. I like, oh yeah, put it over rice. A little mustard, a little soy. You're like,
Yeah. Things like that can get a little heavy.
I hate artichokes.
Oh yeah.
Why?
oof.
They're just they're a lot of labor. Like, what
Yeah.
kind of vegetable do you get? Throw away half of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
it's like,
I get that.
no, I can't.
Yeah.
Damn, but like artichokes
then-
are so good.
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
What about dip? What about artichoke dip? You hate that?
The best artichokes I've ever had have been turned and deep fried.
Oh.
Nutritional yeast. Shit tastes like Lay's potato chips.
Nutrition.
That's yeah. As soon as they come out of the fryer, just cover them.
Take
Just
notes,
fucking
guy.
caked.
What's that?
that sounds.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
We're getting
Is nutritional yeast local?
It's already been done. Shop. What you gonna do?
San Francisco, man, they're making that somewhere in the South Bay.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, for sure. It's at Rainbow. It's local.
What's rainbow?
Rainbow Grocery?
No, I've never been there.
Oh man, it's like a I'm pretty sure it's like all vegetarian, but they have like a wacky like dry goods area. They have crazy amount of teas. They have like
A lot of grains.
they have a ton of grains. They have
Yeah.
different honeys. You can like mill your own nut butter there, and they have like nutritional yeast and stuff like that. Just like random things that like if you don't want to get like a 5-pound bag from whoever you're ordering, you just go to Rainbow and get like a pound of it.
I buy like
That's an SF.
buckwheat.
Yeah, it's
from
on it's on like Folsom and 13th.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, it's like right under the underpass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's actually it's like it's a cool like it's like a third pantry,
Yeah.
you know?
Shout out to our third pantry, Rainbow.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, right.
Rainbow Grocery.
Damn, dude, I can't believe you said artichokes. Artichokes are so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can, man. But eggplant, I love eggplant.
Yeah, and okra. I mean, pickled
Yeah,
okra,
okra.
You know,
Eggplant.
fried okra. I
Yeah.
love
it be like that sometimes.
yeah.
We're
Yeah.
just
Hmm.
weird in our own ways.
Hey, I hear you. No foie gras.
I don't. Do I like eggplant skin?
We did this dish again, going back to like masking okra. We did this dish at Marguerite's that it was like, you steam eggplants, then you take them out of the oven, then you split them in half, and then half again, and then you take all the inside of the eggplant out and you pass it through a tammy, and then you season it with like the mole from Pujol, and then you you make it taste really good. You know, like their mole is like crazy.
Right.
It's like tastes like when I was there, because it kept evolving. Obviously, when I was there, it just tasted like cardamom, cinnamon, and like dark chocolate. It wasn't like, didn't taste like anything that I've ever had before. And we just mix some of the eggplant with that, and then the skins we would just like roll them out, and then like we just like put them flat, like really clean them, then like pipe the puree, and then roll them into like a cigar. almost, and then like a little sauce on top. I forget what it was, and some kind of like brown butter crumble, and it was like it's like a little cigar and like a plate.
Yeah.
Eat it, but I was just like, I mean, what you were tasting was the mole, you know.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
put
yeah.
anything in there.
Everything else is just play.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, I do feel like when you're talking about eggplant and how it doesn't really carry like its own flavor, yeah, it can get manipulated. Like a lot of people smoke it and char it and stuff like that. I feel that same way with like I still love it and use it, but I feel that same way with like zucchini. I don't really feel like zucchini has its own like inherent flavor.
You're talking
sweet,
like green zucchinis?
Yeah, just like
Not like-
green zucchini.
not like
Yeah.
summer
Well,
squash.
Well, at that point, we might as well throw out cucumbers.
No,
Cucumbers, no,
Nah.
cucumbers have like
Cucumbers
no,
have
they have
so
like
much flavor. Cucumbers are like the best. Honestly, like top 3 vegetables.
cucumber.
The worst dish
love
I've ever had to
cucumbers.
prep: cucumber risotto.
Oh,
Yeah,
that sounds awful. Where was this at?
Cucumber risotto.
Meadowwood.
Hot
Yeah.
preparation.
Yeah. Yeah. We had to seed cucumbers, juice the flesh, and take all the seeds and dry it over 4 days. Cheesecloth. Every day you came in, you had to change the cheesecloth, press it. 4 days after that, it was like just this mass. And then you weighed that shit out, and on the pickup, creme fraiche, juice with kuzu, and you basically just made it this creamy, nice, like, unctuous cucumber mass, if you can imagine.
Yeah.
And then it was just like dollop up, a lot of sea greens, and like some oil. And that was it. Every time I made that dish, man, I'm just like, yeah. I was just like,
That's an ambitious
like-
dish, dude.
That is a
but like, that's Chef Costa for you.
Yeah.
Like,
I
what am I
mean,
going to do? Tell him,
yeah.
does this suck? I don't fucking know what 3 Michelin stars are. I just
Nah.
got there. That's it. Whatever,
I made
bro.
Some fucking weird dishes before too, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you were at the mecca of weirdness.
I was at the
Luca
Mecca
Reeds.
Awareness. One time, we're in our, so like the restaurant itself like operates in a funny way where like they get 37 stages every year,
Right.
and then you begin the season, and at the end only like 11 people stay, and then you're responsible for training like the next batch of people.
Right.
Right. So during that time where you're like training the new people, there's actually 3 months of just R&D. So you're just there with like Ferran and like all these crazy Spanish chefs, and like they're all just like spitballing ideas. And I had to, so the dish, like all they said was like, think about a strip club, champagne, grapes, like women. It's like, all right, cool. So
There's grapes at the strip club.
Yeah.
there's champagne.
I ain't
don't know,
never
the
been to
They have
bubbles,
banana leaves too?
grapes. I don't know. Then I was like, all right, that was like all they said. Sometimes you get like a sketch. Sometimes you just get like an ingredient. Sometimes you just get like a sentence.
That's cool,
So
man.
just like, what do you make out of that? So we were playing with like making molds, and Javier, who was like the head of R&D, he's like, pussy. And I was like, what? He's like, you're at the strip club, you're gonna get some pussy. And I was like, so what do you want me to do? He's like, maybe like make a mold, and then like we can make people eat out of the mold. And then everyone would just be in the dining room like, what the fuck? So we made a mold from like a vagina,
A pussy mold.
a pussy mold. Made it into.
Did
a
you
clay
order
mold,
that
made it into
online?
No, I made it. I made it out of clay. I made it out of clay.
Did you have a reference picture?
Google. Because you Google the word pussy, you go to images.
That's
there's
right.
All kinds of results. We're talking about like, I don't know, some science book shit.
You're like,
I like made it into clay, then made it into silicone, then made it from like green melons, and then like champagne gelée and like all this shit. It's like, I after I made that dish, I was like, fuck, like, what am I doing right now? I know I had to serve it to like Ferran Adria, and he ate it. The guy like picked up. He's like,
He ate the pussy.
he ate the pussy. Guy picked it up, ate it, and then he's like, "It's like the most offensive thing I've ever done." It's like, "What are you thinking?" And I was like, "Bro, it wasn't me. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm just going with the flow." And he's like, "No." I was like, "I know."
This ain't the dish.
Yeah, we did all kinds of fucked up shit. Like there was like a dish with like fucking fetus and umbilical cord of PX vinegar,
Really?
ammonibericol embryo. Like it was like all kinds of weird shit.
Huh. That's bananas.
I mean, it was like R&D. Like we came up with like hundreds of dishes, and like only like 75 will make it to the menu, and then we'll like finalize 75, and then every day we'll get like a different menu.
Right.
Or we'd measure our diners by like the server would get an idea of how experienced they are. They've been there before. Maybe they're Japanese. Like, you know, they'll like fill them out and be like, okay, like they could take some risky dishes, you know?
Okay.
Hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not that risky though.
Yeah.
No, that didn't make it at all. No.
They're not trying to make no money pussy over there.
No.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Eat your pussy at home. Lesson.
Yeah, no,
That's the lesson to be learned.
We made some weird shit out there. But
yeah.
hell of a restaurant. I mean, so many ways.
I hear you, man. What is the Adria brothers doing now?
Albert Audra is like just doing his tickets, and he's got like a restaurant group out in Spain.
No, I think that closed. during the
Oh, it did?
pandemic, like a lot of it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I hear some shit about like, yeah, a lot of his restaurants closing during the pandemic. Like, he had that like flagship one that he opened not too long ago called Enigma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's done. I think like tickets is done. I mean, it's like, it's weird. Like, for example, today, like there's like a new mask mandate for indoor dining.
Wait.
For San Francisco?
No, Alameda County.
Oh, okay.
You say Alameda?
Alameda.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
That's
Yeah.
why they're looking at me
It
weird.
passed today. Yeah. Indoor mask mandate today. So,
You think the same is gonna happen in the city?
yeah, for sure. It's
I didn't
a
even
week
know
a-
it was
it's like a week
another-
away, guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know.
Normally, it's the other way around. You guys are
Yeah,
like
yeah.
doing it first, and then we do it. But like, yeah, it's just gonna happen. Like,
I know at
guaranteed.
Octavia we started doing like masks right now. Like the health department was like it's highly recommended, and we just started doing it. And then I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, we got it literally like a few hours ago. And then there's also like a new every person that works in that has any type of liquor or wine license has to start doing a mandatory like 4-hour class, kind of like a serve safe,
Oh yeah,
but for like alcohol.
yeah,
I was like, fuck.
They got a
That's
serve safe
4
for alcohol?
hours.
yeah.
Yeah. If you're like in any way related to a license like type 41 or 42 or whatever. Like, yeah, anybody who's like a server or has anything to do with like touching a beverage, like has to take
Yeah.
a 4-hour class.
Do you like your health inspector?
That's a long story. I haven't actually met my new one.
That's usually the way it is.
Yeah.
It's fucking.
My last one didn't really like me, but the new one, she hasn't come by yet.
You just don't want the young ones. They be coming in there like fucking pa 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 pa. Like, close this shit. Like,
Yeah.
You know?
Knock on wood. I mean, yeah, we don't have a hood, so we do a lot of sketchy shit.
Yeah.
Straight up. I mean, I'm like braising octopus right now.
Whatever, man. At the end of the day, you know more about taking care of food than those fucking people.
Guaranteed.
They go in there to take a
Yeah.
class and then they have
Yeah.
a job. And it's like,
I mean, what's interesting is so inconsistent. Like I remember doing health inspections at Quince in Catonia, and then it was like, should we switch these out? And then at Tartine Manufacturing, getting an inspection, and it's like I was like, oh, I gotta do this, this, and this, and like they wouldn't even look at those. Like
Right.
certain things that like weren't a big deal for them, that was like such a big deal at Quincy Gatonia, and then they would look at something that like I had never heard of or something weird, and then at Octavia it was a similar thing too. It was like it's so inconsistent. I think it just depends on like the health inspector and like what they're looking for at that time, or what they might know about that restaurant. That's like always kind of a problem, you know. But I've never seen like a consistent like scale with like what they're actually looking for, because there's certain things that I do all the time, and they're like they won't even look at it, you know. It's like, oh, okay, I guess not. Or some people will like test the sanitation water,
The pH.
yeah, and they're like, "Where's your strips?" I'm like,
Yeah, where are
right here,
strips?
yeah, right in
Oh.
the dish bit.
Yeah.
I said we should give them some new strips as soon as they
Yeah.
walk in the door. Be like, "I got some new strips for you." Just made sure.
You guys ever been had the ice cream inspector come?
No, what is that?
Dude, so I didn't know about this until Meadowood,
Yeah,
but there is a
Ice cream
motherfucking ice cream. Like that's
There's
what
an
I would
ice
be when
cream
I grow
inspector.
up. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying? The fucking ice cream
it's a
inspector.
My name is
It's
Jim,
a
and I'm the ice
15-year-old
cream
girl.
inspector.
Chef Cat is at Charter Oak. This 16-year-old girl walks in like, I'm the fucking ice cream inspector. Chef Cat thinks it's a fucking
Gotta try
joke.
every flavor.
Yeah. And basically, yeah, they would go to your machine. If there was one drop of water on anything, you failed.
What?
Well, you got to
Wait,
think.
was this a county
Well,
thing?
no, you got to think like you're putting egg in that, right?
Yeah.
In that machine. And there are places out there that probably don't keep their shit very clean.
Yeah.
You know, you go to
Yeah.
the, you know those restaurants where you're
Yeah, I
like,
know. I mean,
but if they have an ice cream machine, it's like, it makes sense. Like there's got to be those people that work at those restaurants that don't give a fuck about cleaning their shit
Oh yeah.
and have a dirty ice cream machine. And so they'll take samples of your ice cream and test them. But yeah, which is banana. Like I never knew
I mean,
about this.
It makes a
until
lot of sense. I
It
mean, like,
makes sense.
Well, why
yeah, I
doesn't
mean, have you ever
it's
done like a
interest-
paired gig?
A what?
Paired?
No.
You know, paired? It was like an app that came out a few years ago that basically, like, let's say like you're out of a line cook on the line, like at a busy restaurant, you go and paired, and like you can get somebody in there like in like 30 minutes.
Like a
Oh,
temp-
they got
like
they got a
temp
new
line
one.
cook.
What is
called Gig Pro.
Some shit like
Oh,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
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 It's not
So-
hasn't been over here yet.
It was like an app, and you're on your phone.
Oh,
and
you're talking
like,
about Riley. Riley works
Yeah,
for that. Yeah.
Riley works there now.
I mean, yeah, you're picking up shifts. You're like $35 an hour prep cook. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Like you just pick it up and you go to these restaurants. And after I left Saison, I was like, I didn't really know what the fuck I was gonna do. And I was like, so that app came out, and I was like, oh shit, like I'll just go make $35 an hour over here, like wash dishes. I was like, whatever. But those kitchens, you like look at those walk-ins and the way people are cooking and the way people are like storing, like keeping food, just period. You're just like, dude, like it made me feel grateful that a health department exists, because you're just like, dude, like, someone's gonna die here.
Yeah, dude.
This is just like disgusting, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, when was the last time they cleaned behind their ovens or under their deep fryer? You know
Oh,
those deep
yeah.
fryers you like, where there's two fryers together and you can like see
That's gross. Bro.
that shit in between them.
I mean,
it's like,
yeah,
fuck,
just
man.
like overall, just like they just don't know,
Yeah.
you know? A lot of people are just like doing like the everyday thing. You're like, yeah, just you put the guacamole on the chips and sprinkle this thing, and you like send it out. You know, like they just don't know.
Yeah.
Ceviches and shit, old fish.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that makes us all want to go to these good ass restaurants more
Exactly.
and don't be going. I mean, everyone's got their hole in the wall that they like,
Yeah.
they really like.
you just
know?
turn
Charlie,
a blind
that's
eye
only you,
to.
man.
That's only me. It's like
Charlie, that's
when I go back to DC, it's like there's this
Oh,
Chinese
man.
spot that I fucking love.
he used to
And
eat
it
this
is.
turkey club from that fucking bar in Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, I would never order food from this bar. Like these motherfuckers had a deli.
You're talking about Murphy's? Murphy's
Yeah,
was a
I'm talking about
legit
Murphy's.
ass establishment. That's all I'm
I'm
saying.
sorry, bro. To take it. I don't know.
I don't know. The people though, so those are the things when you order the food and the guy that makes the food like comes out to the bar and hands you the food and you're like, oh fuck, this guy made my sandwich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck, dude, this guy didn't have any
He's gotta
teeth.
get an iPad.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say, cigarettes.
Swastika tattoo behind his ear.
Chef taking cigarettes break is the saddest thing you've ever seen.
Fuck, dude, that was me.
In back
That
of a
was like-
restaurant, I was like, it's just like looking at their phone. It's like, gotta go in and clean after this, man. Damn.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Texting your girlfriend, you're like, I'm gonna be a little late.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chef's got this cool eggplant technique I want to learn.
Yeah. Actually, talk about eggplant. Great China has a good eggplant.
Great China.
Oh.
I love
They
Great China.
they barely steam it. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't even think they put
Is
anything
there
on
a sauce?
it. I don't think so.
It's just
I think it's just steamed salmon.
See,
Trip.
Szechuan
It might be
eggplant,
marinated.
Szechuan.
that's a solid.
I mean, Szechuan.
Yeah.
Szechuan's good.
That's a good dish, though.
Szechuan anything.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Cold pig ear salad. Very good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do.
Cold pig ears without the Szechuan sauce.
Not so good.
Not so good.
Very true.
That fucking.
I've been down this rabbit hole of people throwing me like eggplant dishes, and I'm like, yeah, but what about like the pickled eggplant? I'm like, yeah.
It just makes you think about somebody else.
I mean, it's water, bro.
We've all been there before.
Yeah. I
You
feel
know?
you. I feel you.
It's in
And
your
next
mouth,
time
and you're like,
And you know,
I
I've had
wish
this
was something
conversation,
else.
and every time I go to someone's restaurant, they throw an eggplant dish at me. They're like, I know you hate eggplant, but try my eggplant.
But try this one's gonna change your life.
It's just gonna change your life.
Yo, Chef, but when you say shit like that, I don't like eggplant. I take that shit personally.
I hope
Really?
Like, I got to show this motherfucker.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
I'm thinking one day I might just show up with eggplant dishes every day just to have a meal.
You know, whatever. Bring it.
Peter
Yeah.
would just be like, "Man, those eggplant dishes are getting better by the week, Chef. You might want to try this shit." What are you finding with staffing these days? Are the cooks coming in young and hungry? Are you having a
I mean, it just depends on what position. Like, I feel like with cooks right now, like this past couple of months, it's been interesting because I feel like there's more people looking for jobs than in the past few months. Like in the past few months, like nobody wanted to work. And in this past 2 months, like I've been getting more and more resumes and like people wanting to stage. We're getting a lot of stages in the past 2 months.
stages from anywhere notable?
Yeah, like Angler and Saison and stuff.
Okay.
But I just like, I don't know, like the best employees I have right now are like people with like no kitchen experience.
Yeah.
It's like no ego. Just
Yeah.
like one of my best employees right now is this girl, Sammy. She's like, she's a musician, incredible musician.
Shout out Sammy.
Shout out Sammy. Mommy.
Hey.
Oh, mommy,
Yeah.
mommy,
Yeah.
nice.
IG.
I hope is that her IG account?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was like,
Uh,
man.
Super good cook.
Nico,
She's just,
relax.
If she
Right.
didn't scoop that up, I
Fucking
would have.
wild animal.
she just like, she's just a good cook. Like she could just taste food, and I'd be like, this just sucks. It's just like so tasty. And she just like, I'll be like, yo, I have these leftover turnip tops. She'll be like, just make a salad, and like, you taste it, and you're just like, what the fuck is that? You know? And just teaching her like all the basics from like how to hold a knife to like how to store seafood and like washing vegetables and stuff like that. And she just like little by little has just been developing such a skill. And I know ultimately she's gonna be like a famous musician, but it's just like such a trip to see her develop as a cook so fast.
Right.
And like right now, it's kind of what I look for. I just look for people who are like smart and have like a sense of urgency and like fucking like work ethic. You know, I don't really like. I read resumes of like people are like, yeah, like 2 years at my Comina and like 2 years at this hotel and like 2 years like I don't know, fucking Cotonia, and I'm just like, I don't really give a fuck. Like, and you're like a Michelin resume, and you're like, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So nowadays, I try to just get people who are hungry,
Yeah.
like, and want to work.
That's the most important thing. I mean, what the fuck are we here for?
Yeah, dude, my fucking dishwasher, like, guy's the goat now, prep wise. Seafood shellfish master.
What time you guys like starting prep?
Now it's different because I just made the decision to start opening 7 days a week.
Okay.
Which gives me a 3-day off in a row. So basically the way we made that happen was like for 4 days we run a full menu, and for 4 days we run a full menu, and for 3 days we run a brief menu.
Right.
That those wine bar days we just do like snails, ham and cheese, crudité, and like selection of cheese and meat. And I train the person to do these things properly, and I make sure that the product is in house, and my sous chef comes in on Tuesdays and like sets it all up, and like my AM sous like basically comes in on Tuesday and like bangs out like all the snails, you know, like makes all the butter and like, you know, just like takes care of all that shit. And then like now it's just like, yeah, we have some extra hands, but we've made it so it's like self-sustainable, and I don't have to be there 3 days a week now.
Word up, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing on these 3 days? Because back in the day, it used to
Being like
be
a human.
sleep.
Just like today, I don't know, I was at this thing called Good Hot. It's like started by these people that work at ramen shop in Berkeley.
Right.
And it's like this like Japanese steam rooms with like, and then you come out of it, and then like the bay is outside, and it's like a swimmable part, and you just like jump in the water. It's like you're there for like an hour and a half, just like fucking, you know, it's like this beautiful sauna.
Yeah, chef, what's up, man?
Sick.
Give me a call, bro. I'm trying to hang
that
out.
sounds like a good place to relax.
Yeah,
Shit.
dude, it's beautiful out there. We like smoked 2 joints, me and my lady, and we're just like out there just hanging out. It's great. Like do shit like that. I don't know, like I can play with my cat. We can watch a movie.
Yeah.
Live your life.
It's like trying to be a normal person. I don't know. Make time for friends, you know?
Yeah.
Go to a wine bar, be a stranger. Like it's, you know, it's like we've been working most of our careers having
Yeah.
2 days off, and it's like one day you have fun, next day you're hangover and you do laundry, and then you're back at work.
Yeah.
You know, like that's like literally like most of our careers as cooks. But like that extra day is like, dude, fuck. It's the whole difference. It's like I come into work and I'm excited, and like I'm ready to take on the week, and I know that I'm only working 4 days, so I'm like really pushing myself to like make good shit. And like tomorrow I'm gonna be in at like 7 a.m. You know, but that's like my Friday. My Friday is my Mondays now. But like, so I'm just like, you know, I had fun for 3 days. Now I'm just like back at it on Friday. I'm just gonna come in early and like crush for the weekend, and then Monday's our last day, which is our industry basically day where we see all the chefs and shit. And after that day, I'm just like, I fuck off like at the end of service, and I just like focus on like my notebook and like what we're gonna do next week for the menu.
Word, man. That seems like an ideal schedule.
Sounds like a good schedule.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck, dude. I mean, you know, it wasn't an easy decision at all, and it wasn't like a plan that I knew was like, gonna work, but we had to like go for it because I just, you know, like you think about like the average chef guy, and it's just like this burnt out fat guy with like a toque, you know. It's like for generations. It's like it's just like the
cigarette.
picture of the chef
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
cigarette, like burnt eyes. I just like, I don't know why the fuck are we making the same mistakes. Like I watch like my chefs growing up like in kitchens, and they're all just
They're miserable.
miserable.
Well, so
Talking
what's
shit about their boss and
yeah.
the cuisine of the restaurants. Why are you fucking?
That's
here,
what I'm saying.
guy?
Like, the thing that changed my perspective was when I saw how my cousin lives. He's a tattoo artist.
Oh, okay.
And
I
they
remember that
make-
podcast.
Hand over fist, they're making money.
Yeah.
$100, $150 an hour, you know, $1,500, $2,000 day rate, whatever. And I was like, wait a minute, we're artists, we're feeding people. Like, we should fucking make that kind of money. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Obviously, shit costs money, so it's not gonna be that much money ever. But then I was like, you know, we need to celebrate more.
Yeah.
Like when we were coming up, we used to fucking clean up quickly to go party. And
Yeah,
nowadays, it's almost like, what are you gonna do? I'm just gonna go home. You know, what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
all the cooks out there need to go start drinking more and do drugs. Like, what are?
That's a good, you know.
I think it's an interesting dynamic now. Like, I know for me, like my crew is consist of like a lot of people who were like, like I have one cook who's leaving, and another cook she had the most experience. She's gonna be a sous chef at Francis, and then after this cook leaves, like all my cooks have like less than like 8 months experience in a restaurant.
Right.
You know, and I've been super fortunate because like for me, like I had this one kid who's like 19 years old and he like just came in, wanted to do it, and he's just crushed and he's done a really great job. I set him up with the right people and we've trained him up. And I had this one girl who was an extern with us, and she like even little things, you don't even have to, and this is what I look for is like it's not about like being perfect, but it's about like the pursuit and like just trying to get better every day. So like we gave her brioche as a project, and like every time she does it, it turns out better and better. And she goes, "Oh, I did this or I did that," and stuff like that. And it's great to see those things. And same thing with like one of my other line cooks. She came from Mexico City.
Where's she working at?
What do you mean? Where was she working?
Where was she? Yeah.
She what's crazy is like, so she in Mexico, if you have like a degree in Mexico and then you go to the US, and like she was going to CIA and she graduated, and you can get like a J1 visa, like work visa for a year.
Oh, word.
So she came and like worked with us. Yeah. So, it's just like great to see them grow and evolve. And, you know, for some of it, like what's interesting is like, and I'd love to hear like everybody else's creative process when they think about dishes and just things like that too. But it's like, for me, like I literally like flew in from Orange County today, landed at like 5, went home, went to the restaurant because Melissa and her parents were eating tonight, and was like there for their dinner, and then came here. But like what was weird is like yesterday I didn't hear from my executive sous chef Richard, which was great. Like that's how it should be. Like I don't want him to be like hitting me up every minute because then I don't do my job right, you know? Like I didn't train him. But it was weird because I'm just like, wow, it feels weird. Like not like I feel okay with this, but it's also like I feel weird not being there, not hearing anything. Like, is everything okay? You know? But I think like sometimes what I struggle with is that like for sure, like I don't want to burn anybody out. And my thing is that like these cooks, it's like it's like every time somebody leaves or somebody starts, it's like, okay, we're gonna add something new to your prep, and you're gonna have to. I think something super valuable is like putting him not in the shits to like flounder, but like, okay, you got to like learn how to get out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's such an important tool as a cook becoming a chef. Like, how do I master this prep list? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, it's like, how do you keep pushing them and keep going? And then for me, I always feel like I always want to push really hard and get like all these dishes going and all this stuff going. And like, for a lot of it was like how I was trained. Like I basically spent all my time with the same chef, you know, and like I have similar, like, because I spent so much time with them, I have similar thoughts of all those things. But also it's like I cut down my chef's days to like max like 10 hours, try to keep them between 10 and 12. And it's like, I don't want them there for like 18 hours a day, because I'm sure we've all done that before. And it's like at a certain point, you're just like unproductive. It's like, why were you here another 6 hours? And it's like, you can't shake out, you know? It's like you shake out and someone's like, oh, half day. And you're like, no, I literally did everything I had to do. Like, what else needs to get done?
Yeah.
You know?
That guilt of like not working like as long hours as someone else is such a weird thing.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. I feel like there's just been so much like, we've all been so burnt out for so long and like been brought up in this like toxic environments that you just like, you like hear about like a front of house employee, like, you know, having like 4 days off in a run. You're just like all bitter. You're like, fuck you, guys.
Yeah.
I was here.
Must be nice.
I was here fucking like rolling like, I don't know, torchons or something. Like my day off, you know. I'm just so bitter, like as a fucking back of house cook, that I was just like, it got to a point where like I remember like fucking like someone came back. They had like a 4-day weekend. And I was just like so bitter about it. And I was just like talked to my partner Jules, and I was like, "Yo, like, I'm I'm like I can't be this mad about them having a good time because ultimately, like, I'm glad they had such a good time and they were like at the river and shit, and like,
Yeah.
but I was here, and like I just can't feel this way for the next like fucking 10 years. Like, I got to do something about it, and like that was just like, we have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, I'm just gonna fucking burn myself out. Like, I'm like in a 10-year lease. Like, what am I gonna burn myself out in 3 years and hate it? And
No,
like,
fuck that, man.
So it's like like, yeah, I signed my life away like on a lease, and I have to make it work by any means.
I think, like, on those things, I mean, like, I feel super fortunate working with Melissa at Octavia, and it's like she's been such a great mentor, like working through these things, and she like busted her ass doing everything, and like being a chef for her is not just like being the chef. It's like at the restaurant, you got to know what's going on in service, you got to know what's going on with like all these other things. You're almost like a GM, and like I have a really great team of like our our wine director Iris is really awesome, and Graham, like our AGM, and everybody else in like my sous chef team's awesome too, and it's great. But like sometimes I struggle with like, like because you're so used to that atmosphere, and it's like, am I doing enough? You know what I mean? Like, am I doing everything I should be doing? Is like I'm never like I'm always happy with the food, like for sure. Like I love where the food is at right now, and it's always about getting better. But like I don't know, sometimes I struggle with like being okay with what's going on because I also want to give people like a life,
Yeah.
because it's hard. Like I think like I don't know, like I don't regret any of the things I went through, and like the places I went like taught me where what I'm doing and all those things, and I feel super fortunate. But also like I always tell my cooks, I want to teach you what I know, not how I was taught, because it was like
I like that.
it's hard,
Yeah.
like I spent my Sundays with Tuss like listening to Clash and breaking down like whole animals, or The Cure and stuff like that, and it's like it's cool, but sometimes it's like I have one line cook who's like, "Oh, I just feel like I should be working still." It's like, dude, just like if you're gonna do something on your days off, like do it 100%. Like dive into what you're doing, but also like enjoy your life right now.
Yeah.
Like enjoy what you're doing. Like you're
We're
gonna
always
be
in
doing
such
this
a
forever.
rush.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I'm not about it anymore, man. I don't even have a fucking job.
This is enough right now. That's
But I agree with you. I think a lot of value now in terms of people that work in the back of the house that are not management. A lot of them coming to work and putting in the time comes from the value of like mentorship and education, because it's like there's only so much. It's like the general. It's like you're not getting paid that much, and like the value of the education and the interesting parts of your job and everything is really what brings people coming back to work.
Yeah.
And it's like to be able to learn things like, I mean, I feel like we did it a lot more like the harder way, but like being able to like show somebody how to, like you said, break down a lamb, but like figuring out on how to do it not on their day off. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
taking into the fact that they have lives as well, but definitely being like, engaging. Like, I mean, we've all worked at that restaurant where they're like, do this. And you're like, just looking at this like one cog of a step. And you're like, what's the next step? Like, what happens after this? And they're just like, shut up and do this.
Yeah.
And then you do it. And then your thing gets passed to another guy that you don't even see what happens. And it's like, and there are some restaurants and places where you do that. That's like your job for a month or like more than that, where it's like just being able to like, engage with cooks and stuff. That's really, I feel like that's what a lot of people are, why they're coming to work more now. And they're less willing to be like, okay, I'll just be quiet and maybe 6 months from now I'll know what the next step is, or maybe I'll know the next dish. But it's like they they expect to be more engaged with. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of like they should, you know what I mean? It's like very few people do. I mean, that is, you know, there are jobs like that people just do one thing, but it's like, those are all the same pay rate. There's got to be a reason to keep people coming in and engaged with you and want to stay there for years instead of 6 months or 1 year or something like that.
And that's the whole thing. A lot of it is like that investment, right? Like, you know, I think back to like I spent most of my career with Tuss, and like I was super fortunate to have like been a cook, been a sous chef, and then be like a purchaser and like learn how to run a business and all those things. And like all that investment, like it's not like he didn't benefit from it. Like he got a lot out of me working there too. And like, but now it's like, you know, like I think about the cooks that I have, and some of them are in J1, so I only got a year for them. But there's 2 that are like, you know, on garde manger tonight, and it's like I really want them to invest in what we're doing here. And I think sometimes it's hard too, because like for me, there's a lot of things that like fundamentally you can learn pretty quickly, you know, but then afterwards it's like I really want to teach people how to like critically think about things, because it's like for me, it's like when people get stressed out about stuff, and even like, you know, even for me, it's like, okay, I got to take a second and be like, oh, what is it that I'm being asked to do? You know what I mean? Like, what is it that I'm being asked to do, and how can I like get the best result? You know, and also like same thing, like our menu changes every single day at Octavia, and it's like, it's not because we don't order the right amounts or any of those things. It's like sometimes like today, like our rabbits didn't show up, and I texted the farmer. I was like, hey, are rabbits coming today? She goes, oh my God, I forgot I'm on the truck. They'll be there tomorrow. And it's like, okay.
That's a farmer for you.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like for me, it's like, that's the commitment I made. You know what I mean? Like these distributors do a great job, and I love them, but it's also like, I want to work with these farmers, and if they only have like 6 pints of cherry tomatoes, and that's all we got, you know? So then it's like, well, what else can we do? You know what I mean? What else is around? What's in our walk-in, you know? Because sometimes I'll bring in like I have borage leaves now, and then we have nettles. So it's like how can we go into the next thing, you know? And it may not be this like major change, or this like, I don't spend a lot of time R&Ding. I wish I did, but like a lot of it is like, okay, like what is it? What are we trying to achieve? And like, what's like, what kind of family is it in? What, like, how is it similar? How can we process it the same way? Because it's like, I just feel like it gets super stale. It's like always the same. Like there's dishes that stay. Like I really love this like mushroom, like morel mushroom toast with fava beans that we're doing. It's like that'll be on for a while, but there's some things that change every day, or like depends on what's coming in or not. But I think like with cooks, sometimes like what I found is that some of the ones with more experience are always like, I want to push. And it's like, okay, like sometimes you got to motivate yourself too. You know, like I know like if I didn't have a chef looking over my shoulder, it didn't mean I got to like relax or do whatever. It's like I still had to like get these things done. And like for me, it's like you guys have this prep, and you can choose to take the 2 hours you have to prep and get your list done, and that's it. Or you can like choose to really push hard and break down your own fish, or make your own bread, or all those things. Cause like I'm going to do it. Like it's all going to happen. Like the sous chefs, me, we're all going to do it. And if you can find time to do it, like I set up your guys' schedule where it's like, you guys are all on the same station for 5 days. You're like, the menu doesn't change that much. You know what I mean? Like it may change, but it's like apricot to plum, or this, that, and the other, you know? And it's like, for me, that's how I was taught. And I feel like that's how I apply a lot of things. Like when I was on Entremet at Quince, I busted my ass during the entire week and broke down all the proteins on Saturday, or did all these things. And it's like, you can make it work. And I'm like, the cool thing about Octavia, it's like, it's such a small restaurant that like you can touch everything if you want to, you know? And it's like, but for some of the cooks, it's like, it's just about getting that investment, you know, like 3 years down the line and all those things. And it's like, for sure, what brings them back is they got to be excited about what they're cooking. You know what I mean? If they're not excited about it, like you're never going to get, like, I always think about like pasta primavera, like the worst dish on anyone's menu, you know, like, you know, whoever's cooking that dish, they hate it.
Andres is like, I got to take this shit off, bro.
It's like week-old mise en place, slimy. Nobody wants pasta primavera, you know? But,
Shit.
I mean, I think, like, for
Wanna
me...
see that shit on the menu next week. Put you on, baby.
You're proving me wrong. That's a challenge right now.
Shit.
No, I mean... But, yeah, I mean, I feel like, for me, I don't know, like, it'd be great to hear from you guys, too, because, like, I struggle with sometimes with, like, I always ask my sous chefs, is like, is the push there? Is it hard? Like, I don't want to make it difficult just for the sake of making it difficult, because like there were some things that you do, and it's like, I'm sure everyone is, well, you just talked about your cucumber risotto, but it's like, there's dishes you're just like, fuck, there's an easier way to do this,
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was at Tartine too, like I had this he's going to be the chef at Francis is working with us right now, but Jordan, like a really good friend of mine, and he like worked at all these different restaurants, and I'd be doing something, he goes, you can do it like this, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, that is a lot easier, but it gets the same result, and it's like, I always try to think like with education too, like what's going to keep them coming back. Like, it's for me, I'm not like crazy into techniques, and people get all psyched about the fermentations we're doing, but it's like, it's a very simple process. You know what I mean? In the scheme of things, like you boil it down, it's like you're salting it or adding water or whatever. And it's like, it's not like this secret recipe. I mean, people have been doing it for like thousands of years, and you're like, I mean, you win some, you lose some, but it's a very simple process, and like, I feel like for me, once people get that, then they're all like, it's not just about like getting it. It's like about making it better every single time, or working it into like what you're trying to do,
Yeah. Shit, man.
What do you got going on now, Charlie?
What do I got going on?
Fermentation projects? Yeah.
What am I got going on?
I bought out all your hoshigaki, your peaches, everything.
Bro,
Yeah,
I just made my...
I'm trying to slide into his DMs. I'm like, where's the food, bro? It's like,
It'll come. I made my first batch of pickles last week. Got some cucumbers from I don't know if I should say the wonderful, I don't know. What do you get? The Gavel Farms.
I haven't heard of them. No.
They're at the Saturday market. They're in Ferry Building. They're at Sunday. It's the Russian guys that have the Russian tomatoes and cucumbers.
Oh,
I
think I know. They're probably
saying
my
that's a little touchy
twin
right
sisters.
Now, but a little touchy right now to say that. But their cucumbers
Okay.
are fucking nice, and they have hot. I think they're all hot house grown.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It was pretty nice to see the first like pickling cucumbers.
Yeah.
The other day, so I made and then I saw it. Was it Heirloom Organics? They've got the dill flowers.
Yeah,
That's what makes the pickles, the dill pickles, better.
You know what's good too that David does is he gets the elderberry, like the elderberries.
Oh yeah,
I made them into capers last year.
Huh?
It was definitely like one of my favorite flavors.
Really?
But also like a weird question, like how do you do your gherkins? Like how do you pickle your cucumbers?
I do usually 4% salt brine.
You do lacto fermentation?
I do lacto,
Okay.
and I usually it depends on. It really kind of depends, but if I'm eating them myself, I lacto ferment them for about 5 days,
Oh, okay.
and then I lid them off and put them in the fridge because they're like half sours.
Yeah.
But I also like full sours, 2 weeks. This last batch, I put garlic scapes in instead of garlic.
Ooh.
Nice.
But yeah, you know what's a good brine that I made the other day that made some fire pickles? Everything bagel spice brine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Charlie.
That sounds fucking good.
Yeah, fire that shit in, boil
You
it
might
brine.
see that on the Octavia video.
Yeah. Dude, just
Game
boil that shit in your
changer.
brine, and it dude,
that
tastes like everything bagel
awesome.
spice. Then you just make your pickles with
You
that.
heard it here first on Sucio,
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
So you don't do the vinegar brines
For
for cucumbers?
For cucumbers, no. I generally don't. I like that like funky fermented like dill pickle flavor.
Yeah.
Like half sours I'm a big fan of. I mean Charter Oak I'd make them by the 6-gallon bucket, and
A
dude
lot.
there would be there was a point in the summertime where I had 9 6-gallon buckets going at one time. And it was like, because, it's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like in that 3 weeks, I
So
was.
for the burger?
No, just like.
We're just selling them.
Yeah, we were just
to have.
like.
Just selling them shit.
Like to have for the
Like,
year, like you got 3 months to make them for
Nickel
the year.
plate.
Yeah, shit like that, dude.
Literally.
But like,
We're like, we need one more menu item. And
Yeah.
then we just go to the back and be like, all right, peppers.
yeah,
Thank you, Charlie.
yeah.
Wow.
I mean, shit, man.
Jardinera.
That's 6-gallon buckets. They're the food grade 6-gallon buckets. They're good because you can make 5 full gallons of pickles, and then you can put your weight on top of it.
Yeah.
And there's air and stuff like that a little bit. But yeah, think about like pickles were a lot, but when I was doing green almonds for the year for a minute, that was I think 450 pounds of green almonds in like buckets. Like, yeah, man.
When you get them, when they have that jelly center.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
best.
That's good. It's like, I can't remember what it is. It's like, there's 2 holidays. I think it's like Easter to 4th of July. No, that's not right at all.
You're talking about
For when they're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, the farmer would call me. It'd be like 2 weeks before Easter, I think. He'd call up and be like,
Yeah.
they're ready.
I
And
used
then
to
you
do this
got,
fucking dish that it was like 3 stages of almonds with like almond flowers and like white caviar, which is like huevos de besugo in Spain. Like, it was the fucking biggest takedown. Well, actually, not the biggest takedown. I have a bigger takedown, but I mean, fucking peeling like the layer of like the green almond, like to get the jelly. I like having like three per order
oh,
on a
God.
tray.
Jesus.
That's like peeling a plátano. Shit, just like take off like an eighth of it. You're
like
like,
an offset spatula. It's like,
Oh, man.
that's a nightmare.
Shit.
Do you have a lot of like misos and stuff like that going right now, or?
Right now, I don't. I have a, let's see, I have a walnut miso, but and that one's been aging, but that's like, I made that a while ago. It's like it's probably a 2-quart jar, that I'm like just keeping along for science. You know
where'd
what
you
I
get
mean?
the walnuts from?
Where did I get the walnuts from? I think I got
Feather
them.
River Farm.
It could have been.
From
Yeah,
Jim?
Feather River. By the way, shout out Feather River Farm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They got some
Check
good
out
ass
your boy
shit.
Jim.
Jim at Feather River. He's got some fire.
Where's this? Where they at?
He's there on Thursday. He's there
Okay,
on Thursday. He
talks
Jim's
shit,
there on
bro.
Thursday.
Marin?
Yeah. And
I don't go.
his-
I don't ever go to Marin on Thursday.
Yeah.
it's tough, man. It's far.
Yo, we were in line at Jim's stand.
Just buy
There's
on
someone in front of
Tuesdays at
us.
South Berkeley, because South Berkeley.
people behind us.
Yeah.
They up their game a lot.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, now everyone's there, like River Dog, Full Belly, Brokaw. Like, it's like a condensed version of like the Ferry Plaza.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that Brokaw lost like 17% of their farms. Still control the avocado market in California.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, they raised
like-
their prices
Unfazed.
twice
yeah.
this year.
Shit.
Twice this year.
hmm I mean, yeah, the avocados ain't cheap right now.
The best avocados they have is the
That's right.
Gwens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gwens are, you fry them shits in walnut oil. Shit tastes like fried chicken, bro.
And walnut oil.
Yeah.
Like no breading,
Against Chef Costa, I didn't take it.
no
Not
breading.
taking
You
credit
just
for it.
like
no breading. No, you just
raw dog
you
it
just sear them. Yeah.
Huh.
in walnut oil.
Yeah.
That's hot.
That sounds delicious.
That
Dude,
sounds
walnut
delicious.
oil is a delicious oil that
Yeah, walnut
We'll be
oil.
using
Yo,
enough.
that
How many times
La
can you fry
Tourangelle one is
without
Yeah.
burning it out, like burning out the flavor?
you go light.
So you just like shadow fry in like a pan,
Yeah.
little sear.
It's quick and then also throw a little canola in there.
Just a little help with the smoking point.
70% walnut oil, 20,
Yeah.
25% canola.
70-30 or 80-20, chef.
Yeah.
Yo,
60-40
I'm
actually.
about the 80-20. Yeah, the 60-40 and the 70-30. I'm like, bro, I don't know.
That's good.
It seems like they fucked it up at the factory and they're like, we still got to sell this shit. I don't know what to do. Like, yo, let's put the label on it.
All that shit's funny, man. Like all your decisions as like what kind of oils you use and like what kind of vinegars, how expensive, like all that shit just like really makes you think. I remember like the chef was like telling me this like marinated olive recipe. And it's like, yeah, he used like 4 gallons of this like nice oil. And then like they cut the budget of like the restaurant by a lot. And then he's like, all right, today we're gonna do half canola, like half of this oil. I'm like a young cook. I'm like, why, chef? He's like, budget cuts.
Yeah.
Or you're like,
Or you like forget to order it, or they don't deliver at all, and you're just like, fuck.
It's always the worst.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Just tell me.
Yeah.
So what got you into fermentation? Because you like
Gostow.
Costo. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
legit. Like, because I came to Meadowood to work on the farm,
Yeah.
and I was doing that, and you know what got me to not work on the farm anymore? Foie gras.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love
So,
it. Where's
two-
the story going?
2 years.
Yeah.
No, 2 years I'm working on the farm, like just eating nothing but raw, just broke as shit, eating the same vegetables every day. You know what I mean? Like summertime, you pick mad bins of shishito peppers, and like literally there was a summer where I ate shishito peppers every day, and I fucking hate shishito peppers now. Like picking shishito peppers and you get the smell on you, hate it. But straight, like, raw broccoli and shit, just out there eating that stuff. And like, I go home and like I said, I was so broke. Like for dinner, I would just eat vegetables and fried rice, essentially. And then one day I was delivering in the kitchen, Miles Punsac Poe, searing the coal searing foie gras
That's right.
on like the bean choton charcoal. He's just searing it on that, and I'm just staring at it. He's like, you want a piece? And I was like, bro, I haven't eaten foie gras in over 2 years, because I had been working at restaurants before then, and I had.
Yeah.
And then he handed me a slice of that shit, and I tasted that and was just like, fuck, I got to get back in the kitchen. I got to do something. But that being said, I was talking to him. I actually I left and went out to Della Fattoria Bakery and baked for a little bit when Zach was the head baker. I forget Zach's last name for some reason off the top of my head. But I was doing that just because I was super interested in learning and like, bread, and they're super old school, and a lot of the best bakers in the Bay Area like started there, that sort of situation. So I just went out and checked it out, and then he reached out and was like, hey, Cameron was the previous me. Cameron Rates. Yeah. He was like, hey, Cameron's moving on. There's this position open. When I was farming, I'm like super into like just like trying to find the best things, like varietal wise, like research wise, and like when we planted all the trees, it was like, what's the best trees that we can get, heirlooms and things like that. Find them, taste them, do these sorts of things, and then A to Z how to plant them, that sort of thing. And he was like, yeah, you're detail oriented, like that's what we're looking for. And like before, like I said before that, I mean, I've been working in kitchens for a long time. I've done, fermented stuff, but nothing to this extent. So then I just got to it and talked to like John Hong was the chef then, the CDC, and he guided me a lot. But like, dude, seriously, like the first like non-miso that I made, I was like, I think I made with, which was pretty cool. I made with cannellini beans that like I legit the summer before had like planted, threshed, like that whole thing, and then give them to him. And then I started working there, and there they were. We had like a 22 quart of them, and I was like, we're hearing about how to make miso out using different beans. Cannellini beans have a high protein content. This will work. And then I made it, and I had to go to John and be like, yo, John, I'm a white boy who's not really had much Asian food in his life. Like, I'm not even sure if this is really tastes like what a miso is. Like, what do you think? And he's like, oh, no, that's good. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. And then, yeah, man, it's just like from there.
I remember
just
that miso.
Yeah.
It was a dragon's tongue mustard, the tiny ones.
Yeah.
Miso
Smeared underneath it.
bite.
Yeah.
Good.
Nice.
But yeah, man, that just got me into it. And then just researching like, ethnic fermented foods of Asia, and like, just all the different, trying to find weird textbooks and that was a cool one. It's a textbook called The Ethnic Fermented Foods and Beverages of Asia, and they don't have China in there, but there's a lot of other Asian countries, and it's like a 400-page textbook, and it's like I got that shit on my laptop, and you can go to like on Kindle, you can go to like search, and it's like you put in miso or like soybean, and then all these pages go up, and then you just look at it, and then they're not like, they don't give you step-by-step guides because that's not what it's for. It's not a cookbook. But you discover things, and then you're like, holy shit, what is that? I'm going to research that. And like, and then going from there, being like, how can I make that California? How can I use that with what the farm is growing and shit like that? But there's like those random books and shit. That's where I would find out about all these really, really cool techniques, because that's how you're going to get to the next step, is like looking back how they fermented things, 1,000 years ago before they really understood how it worked.
Yeah.
And then being like, okay, how can I tailor things to that? And then, also like for the Bay Area is like a great resource here. Is like, there's a lot of people doing cool shit, like Cultured Pickle Shop. They do really awesome stuff. And Shared Cultures. They do super awesome stuff.
We're working on a Funyun miso right now.
A Funyun
miso?
Funyun.
I love that.
Nice.
What is your protein medium?
Funyuns.
That's all the protein you need. Well,
I was talking to her at the farmer's market. She uses beans in all of hers. I didn't know. I thought that was pretty cool when she was talking about it and like different things. Because it's always like, for me, it's like I learned it in the Wolf, and it wasn't until like similar thing, right? It's like, I don't know if this is like how a miso is supposed to taste. And I remember going back like a year later and like ate at their restaurants, and I was like tasting their miso. Like, oh, okay, mine kind of tastes like that. Like, I was like, oh, I don't know if it tastes funky, but I think it's like, I was talking to her. She uses beans for different things and like different types of beans that I thought was pretty cool.
I mean, she makes all kinds of shit. I mean, her and Kevin both make kind of like, I mean, they're always experimenting and like thinking of new ideas, whether there's like cocoa nibs or like walnuts or almonds or like Funyuns. It's just like, they're open, they're like open to ideas, and it's like, you never know what's the next thing that's gonna taste really fucking good.
Yeah.
And you're like chef, you get handed like a Funyun dip, like Funyun miso, and then you're gonna make like I don't know, some sour cream dip. Like shit might just be fucking banging.
Yeah.
Serve it with like trout skin or something. Ooh. And then you're like, this is good food.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of the Sean Brock guys were talking about Mountain Dew vinegar.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. Like all of them.
Like legitimately like Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew vinegar.
That's the South right
he
there.
He said
for
because
you,
I think either Magnus Nilsson went to go do an event there, and he is just like could not get enough of the Mountain Dew vinegar. Just like fucking putting out everything. Like it's fucking. I think Bobo Kato told me that story.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Mountain
Dew.
A lot
of Mountain Dew vinegar fermentation going on.
That's funny.
I haven't had it, but it's probably really good.
It's probably fucking delicious.
I've always wanted to eat at that restaurant. That restaurant looks so good.
Yeah.
Husk.
I ate at Husk when like Baxter and Drew was there, because like when Drew left to go do his thing there, I was like, damn, he's doing a lot of cool shit. And I like went and staged out there with him and like did some charcuterie with him, and then had dinner at the Husk in Nashville, and I was just like blown away, like the stuff that they were doing. And the amount of covers and the size of the kitchen is not like, because you did the recent chef, right? And did you get to see the kitchen and everything?
I did not see the kitchen.
They got a pretty cool setup, but it's pretty.
It's actually no. It is an open kitchen. I did see the kitchen. Didn't think it was that small though.
I mean, I feel like for the amount of people they do, I was like, wow.
I guess to me, it's just like, because I grew up in small kitchens, so I'm just like, that's a normal. Like.
I hear that
just
the
when you
kitchen
have the high
like,
shelves.
Yeah.
The kitchen at Attica, I hear is like a home kitchen. It's like tiny.
Yeah. I've heard that too.
Yeah. I hear working there super hard because kitchen limitations.
Tallulah's was
I don't even know how a kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough when it's like the galley kitchen, where it's just like there's only one way in and one way out.
Yeah.
And it's the guy that's all the way at the other end. It's always like when you run out of prep, you're like, fuck, I got to go buy all these. Like, it's usually like the garde manger, and you're like, I had to go buy all these guys cooking on the hot line. They're like, they're going to see that I ran out of this and they're going to give me shit. You know what I mean? I hated those galley kitchens, but yeah.
It's all good.
Well, so, like we kind of heard your marguerite thing, but like when you guys think of dishes, and I'd love to hear everybody's, but like, what's your guys' creative process?
Well, I like to think of, I hate to say that it's like what's in season, but like, everything's got a season. And the best thing about staying in certain places is that the next year, you know what I mean? So it's like, you're talking about making like a walnut miso or something like that. It's like, when is the walnut harvest or when is the almond harvest for, and it's just finding an ingredient that you really want. Let's say almonds. It's like, when is the blossoms harvest? When is the green almond harvest? When is the nut harvest? Like, how can we incorporate wood in it, like smoking or this or that? And then it's like, from that point, it's like, what are things that you can keep from it, like preserve with it? It's like almonds are Northern California, so cherry blossoms exist too, but they're not like the almonds are. So it's like it's the same type of tree, prunus. Like, can you make the almond blossoms like you could cherry blossoms? Season them with ume liquor, salt them and press them, and then like cherry blossoms that'll last years. Like, you can store them in the freezer, you can store them in the walk-in. It's like, okay, can you make that now and do you have the space to store that on that scale for when the almond harvest is? And like a fresh almond, like organic, still has a high moisture content, hasn't been dried, so much better than the normal almonds that you get at a grocery store. It's like, how do you keep those? You can freeze them, they'll keep the fat, like, not going rancid, and can keep the moisture content in it. It's like,
all the nuts at the restaurant.
Yeah. And then it's like, you want to make a nut milk with the almonds? Are you going to peel the skins? Can you do something with the skins? It's like, you start thinking of all these different like ingredients that you can make from one ingredient.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well then here you are at 4 different components. Can, what much else do you need? You know what I mean? Or what makes that, what would that pair well with? You know what I mean? Like, can you cure, you do like curing salmon and cherry blossoms. Can you cure them in almond blossoms and then do like an almond milk thing? Or, can you set that and do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So kind of, for here, it's kind of like what's around here, there's good shit all over the world, but at the end of the day, it's like, we should be somewhat, it's weird. It's like, it's the dynamic of like, you want to source stuff locally because you're using less gas. Someone doesn't have to fly it over from halfway across the world. You know what I mean? But then again, like, there's motherfuckers launching rocket ships right now and rockets. It's like, what is
it's like, why not get the fish?
Why not get the fish? You know what I mean? It's already on the plane. So it's kind of tough, but like, at the end of the day, working with there's that aspect, but then also working and supporting with the ecosystem that you have around you. And you want to support, the locals. You want to buy things from the locals and have that community involved. So, that's a big one. And then, having the local farmers, like, I'm all about Feather River Farm, Jim. That guy's an awesome guy. Like,
Jim.
And his apricots
Jim.
are fire. His nectarines are awesome. His peaches are
His
like,
nuts are on point.
Yeah, his nuts are on point. His
Love his
broccoli
nuts.
is super good. It's like,
Love him.
so at the end of the day, it's like, okay, you know
His
what? I want to
nuts,
support this guy. So it's like, let's try and figure out a dish with, his Flavor King pluots, which I know are better than the other Flavor King pluots at the farmer's market. Sorry, K&J, but they're better. They might not be as big, but they're tastier. You know what I mean? So it's like,
No,
you think of a dish like that.
yeah.
It's like it's like, okay, I'm going to do that just to know that he's making money doing that, so supporting that sort of situation.
No, I agree. I think
legit.
yeah, I think that's such a like that ethos is just like the best way, right? Because like I've seen year over year like farms grow and like develop more, and if you're giving them your dollars, and like that was one thing that was hard at Tartine. Like there was a transition with the CEOs, and I remember having the conversation with the new CEO, and he goes, "Why don't you have an avocado toast on the menu?" I was like, "Well, they're out of season, like Brokaws not at the market." And he goes, "You can get avocados anywhere." I was like, "Yeah, you can, but they're not that good." And then also it's like, he's like, "Well, then we're just paying whatever because like the name of the person's dog." And I'm like, "Yeah, but we're also charging accordingly." You know what I mean? Like I think for me that's the biggest thing too. Is like the price of something it is a lot more if you're getting like things from Lee or I pay like $35 just in delivery fees for one farm. You know what I mean? And it's like I'd rather get it from this woman who's like got this super small farm, and I know she's picking everything by hand. Like we get the deliveries at 3 because she picked most of it that morning.
Yeah.
And also having that relationship, it's like I'm making nasturtium capers from her because I'm like, hey, I just want like the little buds too, and like I get the leaves and the flowers and buds. And same thing with like she does like all these little things for me, like okra. Like I know you hate okra, but but like for me, like
Can't live it down.
yeah, right. For me, it's
you
like
can do.
she comes on Tuesdays
seat.
and Fridays during summer, and she clips the okra leaves right before she comes down, or okra flowers, and we tempura batter them. And it's like it's on our tasting menu until we're out, And I think like that's the most important thing to me. And it's the same thing with like fermentation. It's like I think a lot of people are doing some great stuff. Like I think Shared Culture is doing some awesome stuff, and Cultured Pickle Shop is like an institution out here.
Yeah.
But like for me, a lot of it's not just about like making it myself. It's like my extension with the farmer's relationship. Like how far can I take it? Like the only koji I make is hominy koji from Lee at Tierra Vegetables, because it's like, and maybe I'm wrong. You probably might know, but it's like I don't know anyone who's growing barley around here. You know what I mean? And it's like it's easy to get like a 5-pound bag from Cooks, but it's harder to make that dedication. And like the koji might be a little bit more expensive, and also like I never really found it to be a problem with the dishes, but there's that inherent like corn, almost like tortilla flavor when you make these kojis. But like for me, it's like how do I keep supporting them even when I'm not like using them in winter and stuff like that? And how do I take like what I know and apply it to like what they're growing at that time or what they have available?
Yeah.
And I think for sure it's like important to like support all the people who are local, because if not, like later down the line, we're not going to have these people.
Yeah, they won't be there. Yeah.
It's a fucking sad fact.
I mean, yeah, we take like I mean, ever since we opened the restaurant, I remember talking to David about like seasonal cooking and all these things, and the pandemic and products, and like nowadays, like we just get like knocked on the door so often about like someone who like was like in biotech, and like now they're like focused on like dry porcini powder, and just make like really good porcini powder out of their bedroom, and like yeah, like we're gonna launch a project like very soon, we can licensing done, and you're just like you taste it and it's actually like pretty fucking good. So we just been kind of focusing on that and like growing our pantry, and then just like developing dishes around like products that people have been making that are nearby, like that are in the neighborhood, and like, but ultimately we're tasting with like like this palettes of like eating like 3 Michelin stars or whatever. Like, we're like very critical, and a lot of the things that I have been tasting, whether it's like salsa matcha or morita or like misos or shirodashis or whatever, like we're very critical. And like I'll be honest, like I've had shit, and I'm just like thank you for your time, but like we're not gonna use it. And I've had a lot of things that I'm just like even if I made this myself, it would take me like weeks, like of work where like I don't have time, and like this product is like exceptional. So why am I gonna make my own koji soy for this dish? Especially like acknowledging your limitations as far as like space, money, like time. I mean, time overall is just the most valuable thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
For sure.
do I want to have coffee and maybe rock climb in the morning,
Yeah.
or do I want to go in early and grind soybeans? Like,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
stir koji. Like,
Like,
dude, at
you know.
Meadowood, it would be like, I'd be going in the middle of the night and stirring this koji. I'd be like, I just
Yeah.
literally drove a half hour both ways to
Yeah,
stir
just to
this
stir
goddamn
that koji.
koji. Like,
you know, it's like
yeah.
I just like, I don't know, like if Elena and Kevin are making fucking beautiful misos, I don't have to be making my own miso. Right
No.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure.
And as
Yeah.
long as I know the fundamentals of it and like how it's made, and I visited them obviously, and like I've seen their project, and I'm just like, cool, like that's how much you're charging, that's how much soybeans are, like, cool. Then like I'll adjust myself to like this is gonna cost this much, and like people don't blink at shit. Like you could make a fucking a crudo for $12, you can make a crudo for $18. Like no one cares. You just have to like trust that it's good. And if the food's good, then like price point is something that kind of goes up. Like just like they just don't notice.
Mm.
As long as shit's tasting good. But overall, like I mean, I just believe in like using products of people that are like around us, and yeah, it's like I don't know, keeping it supporting local purveyors and of all sorts. Whether it's a guy making like celery vinegar or the kombu vinegar, or like people are making their own togarashi, or like den sake, you know, like giving us this kasu, and like I don't know, we don't have the time or room to do like what Meadowwood was doing, you know,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
where it's like I'm like multi-million-dollar like project, you know, we're like mom and pop shop, like
Oh, for
it's
sure.
like we have like 1 2-door fridge and 3 low boys. You know,
Got you.
Yeah.
like, what the fuck are we gonna do any of that?
Yeah. Where are you going to put, yeah, where are you going to store it? Yeah.
Like 50, like I'm at the market trying to get like 8 pounds of things, like you know, like
That's the best thing about farmers markets. Like
Yeah.
again, like distributors they're not bad people, but it's like, man, I can go. I only need like 4 pounds of this, and you're trying to sell me 8. Like I don't want it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's this shit you got to throw away, you know?
Family meal it, but
Yeah.
still you're not making money off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the worst case of waste is offsite events.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Mhm.
just like the waste. That's what kills me about pop-ups. Because you can't have, too little,
Yeah.
and you obviously can't have too much, but you will always have more than you need.
Yeah.
And that always turns into waste.
And the hard thing is you just don't have anything to roll in. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're doing a pop-up and then next week you're doing a different pop-up or even like I used to do pop-ups in private chefing and be like, okay, well, I can't use the stuff that I like prepped on Thursday for my Monday night dinner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, shit, it's ready. It's like, oh, well. But yeah, I mean, like offsite events are gnarly.
Yeah.
We actually met doing an offsite event.
Yeah. That was,
Really?
yeah.
But
Where at?
everybody, like, we cooked a bunch of food. Everyone was too high on mushrooms to eat any other food. So everything just like stayed on the table. Nobody ate shit.
Yeah.
Dope.
It was awful. It was a lot
Those
of
fucking events are the worst,
Yeah.
man. We
Well,
need this, we need this, we need this. And then when you make it all, you're like, here it is.
I honestly
Yeah.
say
We're not
no.
hungry, bro.
I like
Yeah.
say no to most people that want us to do shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's like when I do events now, like I used to just be like, I just want to do them. You know what I mean? And now it's like, I did events between like Tartine and Octavia, and I charged like a lot, and I was like talking to some friends, like, yo, like, what should I charge? Like, you should charge more. It's like for the most part, like some of these people, they hit you up and they're like, oh, can you do this event like tomorrow night in Napa and on this ranch? And then I'm like,
that shit happened literally today.
We're
And
probably
I
talking about the same
undercharged,
people.
I said one price, and the guy was like, "Oh, it's not gonna be this." And I was like,
It can be.
I mean, shit. If you feel that strongly about it,
But yeah, and then it's like, like for me, it's like I had cooked for these people enough where I went to my buddy Esteban. He was still at Quinta Catonia, and I was
Esteban,
like, hey, huh?
Like Esteban,
Yeah,
Baker,
Esteban, yeah.
Esteban,
Esteban?
dude,
That's what
fucking
he's
milk bread, dude.
Bro,
Yeah.
let's get Esteban on the show.
You need
Oh,
to. He's in Oakland now. He's an Oakland resident
the
now.
legend.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
a coffee at his house like 2 days ago. Like, dude, yeah, he's
Yeah.
about to.
But
go
his
off.
bread is incredible, and it's like I picked up some baguettes because I knew that's what they wanted. I'm on my way up to the ranch, and the lady's like, "Oh, like this person wants baguettes." I'm like, "I already got it." This is why I charge this much because I already fucking knew. It's like
Have you had the milk bread yet?
yeah, I did. He keeps
Yeah.
on teasing me,
The last
giving
version?
it to you.
Yeah. I put it on the dessert menu like
Yeah.
the other day.
No, it's fucking good. I know he's trying to do more. You should definitely talk to Esteban.
Yeah, I think I got him a contact for like
Fucking get him on, bro. Everybody. Todo el mundo. Let's go. Fucking. If your dishwasher has an interesting story, I want to fucking hear it.
just talk to the folks at like Line Dance Cafe. I feel like they're very original.
All right. So let's
Yeah.
talk about this. Spots in Oakland. Where are you eating when you're not at a Snail bar? You're staying local.
I ate at Mujiri. Just like it's all like like fucking top of the line fish market stuff from Tokyo, and they like charge like $27 for like a nigiri combo, which is like unheard of. 'Cause everything's like tsukiji, like market, like bluefin and like scallops and shit. Like it's so good. But it's like you get the quality of like a 1 star in Tokyo, but like it's just like in and out.
Yeah.
I love that place. I love Line Dance Cafe. I think that as far as like vegan food goes, like that's just like the fucking best. It's like Singaporean, like everything's like so packed with flavor. And they make every ferment in house and make everything themselves.
Mhm.
I like that place a lot. I like this place called Kiraku. It's like a super like original like kind of it's like if an omakase and like a it's kind of just like freestyle like Japanese food. Like what is it called, like bar style, like what is it like when it's like fried food, kind of like bar style in Japan? It's
Tempura?
no
There's a name for it, but
izakaya.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's like izakaya. It's like bar food kind of things, but everything's like super top of line quality. Like they get everything from like True World as far as fish goes,
right.
and they're
Shout out to Kimi.
yeah, and they do everything in house, and they're like all Japanese people, and like the food there's really exceptional.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ate at Kiraku, I ate at Mujiri, I ate at Line Dance Cafe. If I'm like up for it, I mean, I eat a lot of Chinese food.
This is the usual. Me too, man.
I mean, my girl's from like Singapore and like
Bro.
fucking live weed, dim sum, like every
Yeah.
time we get a chance. And
I'm at Monkey Pub in Alameda 3 times a week.
yeah,
Is it a dim sum place or what kind of place is it?
It's just a shitty Chinese place.
have
know
you ever
what I
been
mean?
to
When I say
Gold
shitty
Medal
Chinese-
Standard?
It's like a cuisine. You know?
Have you been to a New Gold Medal Standard?
No.
Open till 4 a.m.
Whoa.
In
What?
Yeah, I'm like thinking about going there like right.
Yo,
after.
let's go, son. I'm serious.
I'm down.
Let's go. Yo.
dude. The Peking
I'm
duck
down.
there. It's just good, dude.
Looks like we're having
4
some food
a.m.,
after
bro.
this.
Yeah.
Shit.
4 a.m. Yeah, I mean, I'm hungry now. Yeah, it's just good as fuck.
Nico, where you eating? San Francisco. What's up?
In San Francisco, I mean, Sunday, Mondays are hard. Nobody's open, but I usually end up at Ernest if I'm going
Oh,
to be
dope.
out. Yeah, Ernest is definitely
I
one of
went
my
to eat there
favorite
a while
spots
back.
to go.
Shout out to Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon's doing some awesome stuff.
I'm gonna have him on the show.
Nice, yeah. Where else? And I'm usually at Snail Bar.
You come with Wes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I dim sum with Wes like yesterday.
Yeah.
Uh,
But other than that, like I like to make a stop at Queens. Queens is definitely like it's a great place to have lunch. They got some awesome like sandwiches and just like their whole setup is just perfect. And they just opened up Hotline, which is like Chinese Korean food, which is like super good. I've only gotten to go there once, but I want to go there more.
same.
And then where else do I end up? Usually like Brothers. It's like a Korean barbecue on Geary. Good place to end up. Yeah. But other than that, yeah.
Fucking deli board's really good too.
Deli board's good.
No, not full belly. What is it? Something belly.
Oh, Bread Belly?
Bread belly.
I've only been there once. It was good. Yeah,
So good.
yeah.
Mr. Drew's.
Getting close Sunday, Monday.
I had dinner there. No, dude, they're open.
Sunday?
Wait, they're closed on the Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah. And those are your 2 days off.
I mean, if I do, like sometimes
good.
I work AMs and I'll go to like
Yeah.
the Progress instead of the
Ooh.
bar and then like have dinner at State Bird.
Progress is dope.
Nice. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
super good.
They're
Yeah.
super good.
Anchovy bar is awesome.
Yo, Francis is fucking good.
Yeah, no,
I
France is
haven't
gonna
been there
be
yet.
France is gonna be open on Sundays. Hopefully, we'll open in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I used to go to Francis when I worked up at Meadowwood.
yeah. I never got to go. I always heard like crazy stories about Francis. And when I met Melissa, she was like, "It wasn't that hard to get a reservation. Everyone just wanted to eat at 7:30." I was like, you know,
You guys should
but I
go
was like,
to Mijote.
oh, I want to go there.
Yeah, it looks
They're
good.
open Sunday, Monday too.
It's fucking good, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, the chef, he was doing all those pop-ups at Ordinary,
Yeah,
the wine
yeah.
bar.
yeah.
Worked for like David Tutan. Like all his food's just like it's such a cool setup because it's like an L shape like omakase counter, but people are just plating and then he's running
Because they got
with hot
tables too,
pans.
right?
and then like putting on like the pork on a cutting board, like slicing it, saucing it, and then just like it's like the 12 people at the counter get it, and then like the other people get it.
That's dope.
Yeah,
Nice.
they'll get it.
But it's just like you like kind of peek from the side and like you see the guy just like tasting shit and just like all pans everywhere.
You know what's really good too is I hope I don't say this wrong, but Hina Yakitori. It's right there by Cape Fico. It's got like this like you would pass by it all the time if you weren't like actually looking for it.
Right.
But he's doing some awesome yakitori. I got to eat there like not too long ago. And again, another person who's closed Sunday, Mondays, but they're doing some awesome stuff there too.
Dude, you know where I had like some really good food and like I didn't think that it was gonna be good? Shuggies. Have you heard of that?
Chucky's?
Shuggies.
Where's that?
It's
Where's
like
that at?
this. It's like this people. They used to do something called like Ugly Pickle Co. at the Fair Building Market, and then like they opened up this like restaurant that's like dedicated to like waste.
Oh, that's with the old chef from like Whitechapel.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I know who you're talking
Texas
about.
guy.
It's all waste?
Yeah, like basically he like contact like people and be like, okay, like we'll take all of your like walnuts that are too dark for the market and like we'll buy it like at a like cheaper rate. And they'll like take all that and like make, I don't know, some kind of flatbread or whatever. So they're like everything on that menu is like shit that nobody wants. But they'll just like turn it into like magic. And it's basically like 80% like a pizza shop and then the rest is like small plates.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Dope.
Good wine list. The whole place was designed by both of them that are like super eccentric and like there's like a yellow room, like a green room, like a dragon and like Hulk chairs and it's like super weird.
Oh, did it just open?
Yeah.
Like recently. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's good, man. It's like what is that style where it's like
It's like Detroit style.
Detroit style?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Detroit style pizza. Super flavorful, thin crust, kind of crispy guy.
Yeah.
It's good.
Legit.
Getting hungry
Fuck
talking
yeah.
about all this food.
Fuck yeah.
Let's go to let's go
We're
to
gonna go get
Chinese
some food now, bro.
Yeah.
Chinese food.
Let's
bro.
go. Well, guys, I want to fucking thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
Fucking, you were on the podcast before. Now you're on the first video voyage. So I
Exciting.
want to thank you
God,
guys.
that was
Yeah,
a camera.
Yeah,
for sure. We'll see you guys soon.